Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's scrummy Boys from the Baltic Star. This one's going out to our bros and our homies out there. Fist bumps and peace and loving to you guys, and we hope everyone is doing well. I did look at this. Look, the beard for Ben needs to go in my direction. Get that chin out. It's all cold. I tell you, I've had to put the heating up for the chin. Welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. Welcome to season 2, episode 10. Man, we're turning through them at a rate of knots, it must be said. It's almost like we're doing them weekly.
Yeah, almost one a week.
A beard for Ben for Luke. Oh no, hang on a sec. Let me just sort the beard for Luke out. There you go. It's like I'm still me. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. If it's your first time, welcome. We love having you with us. If you sort of pop in every now and again, welcome again. Thank you for coming. If you're one of our regulars like Fids and Spares, we love having you with us. We always love having you with us. And thank you for the chat, for the bounce, for the conversations. If you want to lurk, just lurk. That's absolutely fine as well. If you want to pop in and say hello and pop out again, that's absolutely fine as well. A lot of stuff to do in life, and there's a lot of time. And we appreciate every minute that people are interested in. And we appreciate that. This is a Traveller game this evening. It started as a Traveller channel, but we're keeping it real on a Friday night where we play our ongoing Traveller science fiction TTRPG game. It's a magical game that we love deeply. My name under the beard is Luke. Hello. I play as two characters in this story. I play as Kara and Soraya. Kara is she was an artist who then had to leg it from her job and lurk around in the belts and things. Well, not like belts, asteroid belts. And then she's developed skills in carousing and trading. I've got Soraya, who grew up in a military home, but sort of was ruined by Stefan and ended up working as a scout for her career. So she's a bit of a, give her a bit of gaffer tape, give her a bit of WD-40, and she'll sort it. Give her mimosas, and she's wrecked for the afternoon. That's Soraya. My friend and colleague, who is sitting 2 to my left, next to the mightiest man of all, i.e. The great Greyhill Bast, is Ewan, a splendid gentleman, the loveliest man on stream, the one person in life we're allowed to stan. Good evening, Lewin. Lewin, how are you?
Yeah, I'm right.
Lewin. That's what happens if we had a baby. It'd be Lewin.
I don't know what to say to that. You've thrown me. No, I'm good. Thanks. I'm good.
Good. You been up to anything exciting this week? Any magical things?
No. I got beers. I went out for beers with a very nice friend of mine the other night.
I was going to say, that's a trick question.
Ben, you may know them. They may be one square to the right of you.
The best thing was I really floozed that day because I had to pop into town to post some stuff for work, and I ended up having random beers with Ben at lunchtime. I just popped into Spoons for lunch, and there he was. So I was floozing my way around town. I got to see both my buddies in a day.
Living the dream.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Ben, you got this Ben for us.
Sorry, what's that?
Majestic!
Oh. Right, bear with me a second.
You're majestic. Twitch Mobile does oddities. Oh, no. Oh, that's beautiful. That was good. Strong chin, as always, Ben.
Thank you. Thank you.
I hear that that poster of Greyhill was fashioned on you as a younger man.
Yeah, I mean, I had them, detune my forearms a bit because, mine are a bit awesome. But other than that,
I think they captured your essence quite well. It is very believable, Spurs. So, who do you play in this sordid tale of ours, Ewan?
Oh yeah, of course. I play Agnar Arnson, former general medic. military tactician, and I play Stefan Miller, general streetwise. I say space rogue. He hasn't stolen anything in ages, to be fair. But that kind of vibe. Yeah, he needs to up his game a bit more. I feel he's losing street cred as we speak.
Well, he's out with us. He's out with the crew at the moment. Maybe he can nick something while we're there.
We'll see. Oh,
we need to add a way for people to spend their credits, which is Stefan nicks something. Right, Dan. I always have these good ideas. I need to make a note of it.
I can't help but think there'd be a role involved, and dice being dice, it wouldn't always work out.
It could end poorly.
Depending on the situation, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna write it down anyway. Oh, wow.
I like it. It's a good idea.
Someone remind me of it tomorrow when I'm sleepy. Stefan's sneaky thing. That could become Stefan steals something.
It could indeed. In fact, why not?
There we go. Excellent. I might need to bump the price on it a little bit though. It's quite low for making him do something potentially risky. Anyways, yes. So that's Ewan. We all love Ewan. Between Ewan and myself, of course, though, is the main man. He's a rose between thorns, betwixt and between thorns. The smartest man in any room. The smartest man on any Twitch stream. The man who lives his whole life in the Twin Peaks stream sequence. The man who Grey Hill Bass was modelled on, but with bigger, stronger, more huggable arms. He is the man, the myth, the legend, our GM/referee, Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I'm all right. Looking forward to this evening, as always.
Yeah, me too. What a joy it is after a week of work, eh?
Yeah, it really is a nice treat on a Friday evening to settle in with some friends and play an RPG and transport yourself to a different place and time and everything. It's lovely.
Absolutely. Speaking of time and place, what is this time and what is this place? Why are we here? What's going on? Who are you?
Oh, yes. As primus inter pares, it is my job to introduce the situation. So, deep in the mines at Bycrest on Dilub Rou, our travellers found a locked room containing some robots, seemingly similar to ones used by Pan System Power, only these had the serial numbers abraded away. They were at Bycrest with the injured Garrow Kavarian, who's planning to recuperate there while doing some work for the owners, the Nortessaries. They are leading lights of the WEF Free Company and the community of Swisher. According to their hosts, Bycrest was the target of an attempted robbery a few days earlier, but the responsible party remains unknown. Down in the mine, not far from the room containing the dormant robots, Sammy Cress was bitten by a small venomous animal called a sandcrate. And on returning to the surface, the party learned that this was a very serious matter indeed. The venom is often fatal within a couple of days, and the anti-venom is scarce and really, really expensive. Racing back to Azurport, Sammy is sent to the Cadence Hotel to be cared for by Gerg Sutter, the medical officer, while Kara, Stefan, and Zoe return to the Circle Club in the ring around the city to get some local information. In particular, they've heard that a person called Corin Stelt might be able to sell them some antivenom. Having identified the right place to find Stelt, they set off for his business, the Venom Cafe, and they enter to find the man himself, who welcomes them. The ground floor of the building has been turned into a small public space with tables and chairs. But much more notable is the way the walls of the room, floor to ceiling, are lined with glass cases containing countless deadly sand crates. And that is where we resume the story.
Here we are.
Welcome to my humble establishment. Can I offer you a speciality of the house?
Oh, he's so creepy. Don't like him.
What is the speciality of the house?
It's a cocktail. Yeah. We call it the Venom Tooth.
Oh. Has it been this Venom Tooth? Has it been known to put many a good man and woman on their backs?
It can cause palpitations in the week.
Oh, but only the weak though, not the strong.
No, only the week, not the whole month.
Witty. Actually, we come on slightly more pressing matters. Isn't that right, Cara? What do you fancy a drink first?
She's like looking around and says, it feels rude to talk business, I guess, without a drink in our hands, and it is brunch time after all. Please, just we trust your judgment. Pour us.
He expansively
Lingers.
waves an arm to indicate you should set to a table. And there are chairs for the three of you. And before leaving, he says, 3 of the house specials. Can I just quickly check? None of you have recently split a lip, bitten your tongue, anything like that?
I know that Zoe's biting her tongue quite a lot of the time, it must be said. I think I'm okay. Stefan, you got through our latest adventures okay, I hope?
Yeah. I'm fine.
Then in that case, 3 of the specials. He goes over to the corner where he's got a sort of a bar is $2,000 for it. It's a table with some bottles on it and sort of stacked behind it. He leans over, pulls out a few glasses, sets them on a tray, and pours what appears to be fairly conventional and quite cheap Rockthol into each of the glasses before carefully collecting a small bottle, which he palms in his hand and carries the 3 glasses to the table. Once there, he puts them in front of you and then takes out the bottle and carefully takes out an eyedropper from it. He says, "Now you're sure?"
Cara sort of looks at the eyedropper and smiles and says, as long as drinking this isn't going to affect my my health insurance in any way.
I wouldn't know. I don't think we've ever had a customer with health insurance.
Go on then. I'm game for one. Stefan?
I'm sure.
Okay. He drops 1 drop into each of the glasses and then gives a little sort of half bow and indicates that you can take your shots now. Zoe looks at it quite suspiciously, but picks it up, gives it a sniff, and then throws it back. She shudders almost immediately, like, that is foul. And then looks up at him with a smile. I mean, distinctive.
Stefan, against his better judgment, he's normally quite sober when we're going to shady places. He'll throw the shot back.
Okay.
Slam the glass down.
Can I have a dexterity endurance check, please, with your endurance bonus? Sorry, no, athletics endurance.
Athletics endurance with my endurance.
With your endurance.
At least I don't have any negatives. That -3 would have not been great. That's a 7 + 1 is an 8.
Okay, and you don't you're not currently carrying any
It's a
wounds,
grey
are you?
No, he is
Excellent.
not.
There we go. It is unpleasant. Not the flavour. The flavour is fine, but it's a sort of. It's as if the stuff makes all of the muscles contract in your throat on the way down. It makes you shudder and shake a bit, but it subsides after a few seconds.
Cara looks at Stefan. How was that?
I guess unnerving would be the best way to put it. Tastes like alcohol.
Cara looks at Corin and says, I'm just a tiny little woman. You don't happen to have a beer that I can chase it with, do you?
He nods and cheerfully, goes to fetch a beer.
Okay. Cara's going to raise the glass with the drink in it. Is it like a shot glass? Is it a mouthful of drink? Can you have it all in?
It's a shot.
Yeah. She knocks the shot in. Before she swallows it, she's gonna take a purposefully fizzy chug of the beer, and then cough it all out over the table and the floor. As it's too frothy, And she's like, "Oh man,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. You're here as a great host, and I'm just making a mess of the place. I'm so sorry. I guess I can't take my drink."
Can you roll a deception check with dexterity for me, please?
Yeah, of course. It is a flat 8, 0 and 0.
Okay. He looks sympathetic and says, "Oh, well, maybe it's not for you. Can I get you something else?"
She sort of looks at the rest of the beer, and she says, "If it's okay, I'll finish up with this. But if there's more potentially, if we're here for a little while, that'd be wonderful. I'll stick with the beers today. Obviously, it's the wise thing for me to do."
Of course. He turns to the other two at the table. Another?
I'm actually okay, thanks. I'll just grab something soft if you've got it, please.
Of course. He wanders off and comes back with what is essentially sparkling water.
Perfect, thank you. Zoe?
I'm good, thanks.
What Cara sort of looks at the empty glass and that and says, "What do we owe you for the drinks?"
A mere 20.
I'll do that. I'll hand you over 20. And Cara takes a credit chip. We're sort of dealing with credit chips a bit on this planet, aren't we? So she takes one of them out and sort of tosses one over, slides it across the table towards him. Your hospitality has been splendid. What does he look like, Ben? Like, describe him to us? His vibe, what he's wearing, if we can judge to see if he's got anything about his person.
He is colourfully dressed, and I mean sufficiently so that he's wearing what you might loosely imagine is a vac suit of some kind, as most people would on a planet like this. It's not particularly well sealed. He's not expecting to go into space with this. It looks as if he took an old vac suit and then made it much worse by cutting additional holes in it and then patching it in different colors with random shapes. There's a slight Harlequin vibe to him because of that.
Hmm. Does he? Is he visibly armed?
Tell you what, roll a recon check for me, please, with intellect.
Oh. That's 5 plus nothing. It's still 5.
You can't tell if he's carrying a weapon.
Okay. Cool.
Are we the only people in there that we can see
Yes.
apart from him? We are. Carl sort of make a point of looking around a bit. I'll say, it's quiet in here. Do you get many customers in? You're well set up for visitors.
He sort of glances around the place as if he's trying to assert whether or not you're joking. There are only sort of 3 or 4 tables in here, you understand. It's a small room. But he says, our clientele is select.
I think that's the way to do it. You can't be open to any posh snob left, right, and centre, can you? You need to maintain a certain vibe, I guess.
I am ultimately hoping to come up with all sorts of ways to inspire people to come by just to see the remarkable menagerie I have. A lot of people visiting Dilub Rou will never see one of these up close, and well, they are quite feared in some parts.
So I've heard. Did you are you a sort of a hunter and capturer of these beasts, or do you sort of purchase and trade in them to add to your collection, if I may ask?
I began outside the city, and I learned a few tricks. Mostly I was able to remove them alive from where they'd clamped into other people.
Well, what is the best way to do that? You know, just in case.
Well, it's hard to explain. You pick the lower jaw. Then you can feed it out. You can then fold the two together and tape them. It heals in a matter of a week or so.
Wow.
Hmm.
What sort of venom do these guys produce? Are they like? I'm guessing they're pretty deadly.
It is beautiful venom. It is complex and magnificent. These are extraordinary animals.
Do you these ones here, and Cara points at some of the cases. Well, I'm guessing their jaws are well and truly healed, and they're sort of left to their own devices, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you are they? Do you merely observe and sort of enjoy them that way, or do you handle them as well?
Handle them. Well,
For milking purposes,
I
or
handle them from time to time. But I try to avoid unnecessary risk.
You come across to me as a man very wise in the ways of these creatures, who clearly knows what he's talking about and has great experience with them. Right, I can only imagine how much work and effort you put into collecting so many and having them here. It truly must be the greatest collection, not just on the planet, but that I know of, surely.
Oh, I think so. I believe I have about 500 here in total. And as far as I'm aware, the largest collection anywhere else is none.
It's a very niche collection, I suppose.
People are afraid of them.
And I think snakes are one of those things that people have fear of, I guess. And if they're deadly, it backs up those fears, I suppose. It's hard to see the beauty and the value, I suppose, in such things. It takes a certain kind of a certain artistry of eye and understanding to truly appreciate them.
Yes. Yes, it's an unusual love, I suppose. But they are quite beautiful.
You don't happen to have another beer that you could have? I've just finished this one.
But of course. And he goes over and comes back with a beer and looks eyebrow raised at the others at the table. Zoe cheerfully just shakes her head.
No, I'm still going, thanks. Nursing his sparkling water.
Oh, he's one of those, is he? One of those in a restaurant. Now Cara feels the pressure to be drinking for the three of you. Cara will say to Stefan, come on, do I have to drink for all of us now? We're at this kind and wise, like this gentleman with this incredible collection. You know, we're visitors.
We are. I didn't strike you as the kind of. We've known each other a while, but I didn't think you were the kind of person who felt pressure to buy things when you're already buying things in an establishment.
Well, if there's no one here that I can get to buy them for me, then I tend to feel the pressure to buy. Don't worry, I'll keep going. Don't you worry about that, Stefan. After you did down this shop. What was in the shop, by the way, Mr. What was your name? Sorry.
Stout. Corin Stout.
Mr. Corin Stout. Mr. Stout. What was in that eyedropper, by the way? I'm sorry, I didn't get to taste it so much, but my friends here were very much taken back by it.
The venom of the sand crate, of course.
Did it take much experimentation to get the amount correct? That sort of touch of death without death?
Experimentation? No. The venom is essentially harmless unless injected. But, some people have sores in their mouths or have a loose tooth, a bit of an exposed blood vessel. And of course, some are unlucky enough to have some fall into the lungs when they, cough and splutter with it.
Well, what a terrifying thought.
Say I did have some kind of bleeding gum issue. How long would it take before I know? How many days have I got until I know I'm safe after this shot?
You would certainly develop some form of symptom within 24 hours, but please understand the rate at which it would seep into your body would be unlikely to kill a healthy individual.
So, bedridden for a couple of days.
Maybe a week.
All right. Sounds like strong stuff then, I guess.
Oh, it's the best.
What if someone was injected through the crate itself? Then what is the prognosis?
Well, they are deadly snakes.
How quickly deadly, I suppose. And what would the victim be going through?
I've seen it many times. Approximately during the first few hours, there is very little to pay much attention to. The blood slightly thickens, but not alarmingly. But it's enough usually to raise the blood pressure and the heart rate. It can cause blurred vision, a bit of dizziness. Within 24 hours, that becomes shortness of breath, trembling, shaking at the extremities. Then typically the tips of the fingers and toes start to turn black and become necrotic. The necrosis spreads rapidly up the limbs, and eventually it's too late to do anything.
If someone was bitten, is there a way to save them? Is there a cure?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. It is possible to synthesize an antivenom.
That sounds like something that would sounds complicated. It sounds like something that take a lot of skill, don't you think, Stefan? It'd take a skillful person to do that.
I certainly wouldn't know where to start.
Oh. Is that something you're capable of, Mr. Stout?
Not only capable of, I do it all the time.
Wow. Sort of sits back and sort of chugs on a beer a bit. Do you have many customers for that? I guess we're near the desert and so on, where the snakes are.
It isn't common, but when it happens, I'm usually one of very few places they go.
What other sort of treatments are there? Just sort of more palliative care and things like that?
Well, there are treatments that a well-equipped hospital can provide. In essence, they constantly remove, filter, and replace all of the blood in your body. About a week's treatment to begin with, and then coming back for a couple of days every week after that. It's time-consuming, it's expensive, and it can be difficult for even a sophisticated hospital to secure enough blood, enough materials at short notice for many of their patients. Synthetic blood, of course, is available, but it's not 100% perfect. Or, again, the really good stuff, very expensive.
Yeah, it's never quite the same, that synthetic stuff, is it?
Or as it turns out, making a true antivenom, you inject that and the victim's body does the work for you. It fights off the venom all by itself.
Oh, God bless medicine. Classic approach. Yes, my friend.
Cara, is it worth? Do you think we're heading out soon, aren't we, into the desert?
You literally read my mind, Stefan.
It's. I mean, it seems like we don't want to spend weeks laid up in hospital should the worst happen. Is it worth picking some up?
Fids, that's because it's actually Ben's character. When you said about the lovely cuddliness of Ben at the pub and this and that, no, this is actually what it's like when you sit there talking. He leans back in the chair His cigarette's in like a long, thin cigarette holder. And even if he doesn't have a cat, he just grabs a passing cat.
It's true.
So-
That fox we saw in the park.
Yeah, he grabbed it.
It's close enough.
You can't tell from this angle, but my house is actually underneath a fake volcano.
He's got 30 men in jumpsuits in his living room. Just running around with guns
two
for no
two of them
reason.
are holding the curtain up.
Oh, Stefan, it's a really good point. It feels like prevention is better than cure, as it were. Do you have many people, Mr. Stout, who go for that proactive approach, or are you generally contacted when someone is shuffling off this mortal coil?
Oh, if only a proactive approach were possible. I could be a very wealthy man that way.
But so is there no call for, like, is it impossible to take it with you? Does it need to be, can it only, just in case, does it need to be administered in a very specific way?
Sadly, the antivenom, like the venom itself, doesn't retain the worst of its effects for very long outside the body.
Oh, so you can't carry vials of it around for weeks on end?
No. The bottle of venom that I dripped into your glasses, it's probably 1% as lethal as the real thing. And I extracted it this morning.
Wow. So between it being extracted and going in, you've got hour maybe.
An hour would be pushing it. I'd expect more like minutes, ideally.
Cara sort of looks over at Stefan to try and get the look in his face. Yes. Do you
Go on.
No, please. I was just going to say, before you start talking, if you could start talking to him, Kyle was just going to sort of put the beer down and say, Mr. Stout, I'm so sorry. It's very rude. Do you have a toilet at all that I could use? This beer's going straight through me.
I have. Upstairs.
Is that okay if I go? Is that okay?
Of course.
Thank you. So Kara gets up and heads upstairs. Is it relatively obvious, Ben, I guess?
Yes. Essentially, when you get to the top of the stairs, you're on an open balcony. And at one end, if you sort of turn to your right, that balcony runs along to a door at the end, which is clearly marked for the toilets. If you turn left, you walk into what sort of opens out into a sort of mezzanine floor with rooms off it all around. And there seems to be a bit of a mismatched set of sofas and rugs and things like that in this upstairs sort of open area, with a couple of quite dilapidated looking people draped unconscious on the sofas.
Okay. As Kara says she was going upstairs for the toilet, she'll go to the toilet first, if that's okay. And I'm very interested to hear what Stefan's going to say while I go to the toilet.
So is it a similar sort of lifespan on the anti-venom as it is the venom? Is it worth us, picking some up in case either of us start to feel, ill over the next couple of hours? Or
the anti-venom would need to be the right type for the person, and it would need to be administered within minutes of being extracted from the vessel.
I see. Well, that's interesting to know. Certainly, if we are caught out in the desert at all, I guess you'll be our first port of call if we're so unlucky.
I try to be open, or at least awake, to any request. Sometimes time is of the essence, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Yes, well, if a tiny drop of 1% is going to potentially leave us in bed for a week, I can imagine the full dose is quite serious stuff.
Well, you did get a full drop.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, how much do you charge for the antivenom?
Well, I would argue that I don't actually charge for the antivenom at all. I mean, after all,
It's free. Hooray!
it is the responsibility of anyone to help those in need. Inevitably, however, there are certain costs, certain risks associated with it, and some administrative overheads. So routinely, I charge a fee for the handling of the crates themselves, the necessity of taking that risk on behalf of another person. And then, of course, I have to arrange for the vessel, a significant administration fee. And the vessel, well, I mean, they need to have been signed up a long time ago. And then they have to be paid for their time, of course. And then, I take a cut of that because I did the organizing. So it isn't really a fee for the antivenom. It's a fee for building the infrastructure necessary to have the antivenom at hand.
The manufacturing process, if you will.
Precisely.
Well, when you put it like that, it sounds expensive. We'll try and not get bitten, I suppose.
The vessels, well, they typically charge. It varies depending on their personal circumstance, of course, but not uncommonly 25 to 100,000.
Oh wow! And there was me. I was sat here thinking 50 credits a pop, but it shows my street smarts, I suppose.
Well, becoming a vessel it's almost a career, and it's one for which there is no steady income at all.
Do you have a long list of people to contact?
Yes, it has become necessary to arrange people of various different blood and tissue types naturally, and those people are often regulars in this establishment.
And is that I take it that's the specific handover to the person in question? Should somebody be bitten, you would need to find a vessel that matches.
You would need to find a vessel that matches. You would then need to inject the vessel with a very substantial amount of crate toxin. Enough that, was the animal to bite you, would kill you 100,000 times over. It's not a pleasant experience for them.
How do they survive?
Well, it is possible if you were to inject the tiniest amount and survive the experience, and then later inject just a little bit more and a little bit more, your body would over time develop something of an immunity.
God, man, he's like a eugenicist, man.
There are downsides. The poison even though it doesn't kill you, it doesn't exactly leave you unharmed. But after a while, it becomes an addiction.
Ooh. Yeah, I can imagine. I'm not gonna get addicted to these little, and he'll hold up his empty shot glass. Am I? Is that how you get 20 credits for the first round and 300 the next time we come in, eh? And he'll just wink at him.
I promise not. The way to become addicted to this venom is to expose yourself to it in the bloodstream, and to do so over a prolonged period of time.
I can imagine. I'm only jesting with you. Yes. And I think that's all that Stefan has at the time being.
So, is the bathroom a shanty bathroom then? Is it a very average sort of bathroom?
It is larger than you would have expected. It looks clean to the point of being antiseptic, but very basic. It is, hard, white, shiny ceramic, and there is not a single piece of evidence of any personalization. It's as if somebody had walked into a very smart hospital bathroom and said, "Yep, I'll have that, but ignore the window, and I don't need the painting on the wall." It's that kind of thing.
Got you. While she's up there, she will go to the loo. She's had a couple of beers, and she walked first, and she had one in the thing, didn't she? So she's loosened the bladder a little bit. So she's broken the seal, and while she's sat there loosening, she's dropped two messages. One to Zoe, saying, "Can you get a vibe out of this guy? About his, I don't know. We still don't know a 50th of Zoe's. We've spoken to her a lot, but we still don't quite understand her. Do you still do you get any kind of vibe out of this guy?"
Okay.
And then she'll drop one to Steph, saying we're going to have to. She'll say, "I don't know how conversation's been going, but I think we're going to have to show our hand. Comma, I'm going to plant a bug upstairs. If just to get some insight, if we need to go and grab Sammy."
Okay. Zoe manages to receive the message without giving any outward sign to stealth. And a few moments later, you get a message back saying, "Vile."
Okay.
As in VILE.
VILE, yeah. Not still the vial. Okay. Kara finishes up, sort of self out, comes out along the mezzanine. Is there any way she could get towards the mezzanine without either stealth seeing her, or at least like not making a scene, if that makes sense?
Yes, you can. It's not exactly stealth. You can have a go at stealth if you want, which will be stealth and dex, which will essentially be, can you judge it and move silently enough to actually completely avoid being spotted?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can have a go at a streetwise check with dex, and try to look completely innocuously wandering about.
Yeah, I think so. Streetwise and dex, or what was the other one? Sorry.
Or stealth and dex.
Stealth and dex. It's all much for muchness. I'll go. Streetwise is much more her style, I guess.
Okay.
that sort of one. She's not going to sneak around in the dark. She's just going to be like, oh, what's up here? Oh no, I've gone past the stairs, kind of thing. That seems much more
Hiding in plain sight.
Except that's the way to do it, isn't it? Okay, that should be enough, unless he's like super duper Spider-Man eyes. 9 plus 0 plus 0 is 9.
Okay. If he spots or thinks anything untoward, he doesn't give any outward indication of it. And you make your way to the open area, at which point you're out of his sight anyway.
Okay. So you say it's sort of an open area. There's a couple of
old sofas, with three effectively in three sides of a square around a coffee table. There are some empty drinks and scraps of nothing of importance on those tables, and on two of the sofas there are a couple of guys stretched out, fairly out of there.
old guys. Okay. Is that so? That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my 3 sofas. I've got 2 out of it guys who are clearly these kids. So what Cara wants to do is a bug, just because if we do make things, I want to know if his intentions are, well, I very much doubt his intentions are pure, but if we have to vanish and come back or something, do you know what I mean? So so in my mind I'm trying to work out whether the best places could be up here or down there. So I've only got the one. Okay. What she's going to do is she's going to make sure, while she's out of sight, she's going to make sure the bug is in her hand. And what she wants to do is, as she walks down her plan is that as she walks down the stairs again, is to kind of try and plant it in sort of, I don't know if there's a banister or something where there'd be sort of, she basically wants to push the bug into somewhere that's sort of out of sight on her way down. I can't remember it's quite a decent tech level bug, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
It's tech level 13.
All right. So you're looking for basically somewhere on the stairs you can plant it?
Somewhere, yeah, because it's not a big place, right? And my hope
No.
is that if it's there, if we listen hard enough, we should catch something, if that makes sense. So, yeah, that's okay. So that's the plan. So she wants to palm the bug, ready to, James Bond, stick it into something as she goes past, kind of thing. Yes, please, Ben.
All right. Okay. Can you make a deception roll with Dex, please?
Okay. Could I potentially use intellect, as it's because she's got some skills in that kind of thing, to sort of know the best place to put it and how to do it?
Yeah. Okay. You can. Yes.
Thank you. You're very kind. Didn't need it. It was the best roll of the night. 10 plus 2 is 12.
Okay. You basically tuck it on the back of the post at the bottom of the stairs. That should give you pretty good coverage of everywhere downstairs and anything sufficiently close to the banister upstairs to be caught. If it's happening in the rooms further back, the chances are you won't get anything.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I got a boon. I didn't see it in time, so I didn't use it. So I'm going to save it. Caribou.
One in the wood.
One in the wood. It might be needed if we've got to talk to this guy about stuff, to be honest. If she wanders down, as she says, I must say, compared to some of the ship's loos I've been having to use recently, you put together a very nice toilet up there. It's a strange compliment, but please take it in the way it's meant.
Well, thank you. From time to time, we conduct what you might call minor medical procedures here.
I can imagine. Speaking of such things, and Kara shoots a look at Stefan. she sort of looks at Stefan and sort of tries to whisper, shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we? Shall we?
Yeah. Sure.
Truth is, we were sent your way because we were told that you were the best man on the entirety of Dilub Rou for the anti-venom. And I think we're going to be putting more money under your mattress by the end of the day, it must be said, as we have a friend who needs your help.
Well, I'm here to help.
It's comforting to know. She was bitten. She's a lovely lady, a geologist. As I'm sure you know, Dilub Rou has some very fascinating rocks. And while she was out looking at these lovely rocks, Sancrates blindsided her and got through her armor, her suit. It was incredible to see, it must be said. And sort of a test was done. Our friend tested her and said that her blood was sort of thickening, and that we might be on limited time. And we were told we talked around. I'm sure you know. Well, of course you will. You'll know Ren at the Circle Club.
Oh, yes.
She said you're the man. And as a sort of a bunch of people, as a posse, a crew, a friendship circle, what we respect is skill and a high quality knowledge in something, and it seems to be that you are that person.
Well, it's very kind of you to say, and it's not wrong. So, your friend, in essence, I would need a blood sample.
Okay. Does that need to be? I take it you don't need to see her. She doesn't need to be dragged over here.
Technically, I don't even need a blood sample if you happen to have her blood and tissue type to hand. I can then select a suitable vessel and begin the process.
Seeing as how we're all part of the Baltic Star mission, I'm guessing the database would have everyone's blood type and everything like that, would it, Ben, or not?
Yes, it would.
Fantastic. Carl says we do have those things. We have blood type. We've got everything you would need, I guess.
Very well, then. We can get started immediately.
Oh, that was a Stefan breath. I love a Stefan breath.
Stefan, sorry, excuse me. Stefan will just say, and then I assume the price is agreed once you've found the vessel, as that's the fluctuating.
Different vessels will charge different amounts of money, and
yeah,
we might have to pay additional costs in order to get one here quickly if he or she is a long way away,
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool. We can get you that information, I guess.
And then, of course, you either have to bring the patient here or take the vessel to the patient.
I'm sure Cara turns to Stefan and says, "I'm sure that's something that we can work out when the vessel's been filled up."
Yeah. Once we're all sorted and we've paid, of course, then we can sort out the minor details.
Indeed.
Okay, are you going to fire the information he needs across?
Yeah, we better do. Let's get started. So, Sammy.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Can you roll one of you? It doesn't matter which one. 2d6 for me, please.
Go for it, Luke.
No, I've been
After
rolling
that
well.
10.
I'm due a bad one. It depends. I've got a boon, I guess. Is this boon time?
Yes, the boon could well be worth it.
Let's use the boon. Let's use the boon. It's really good because it depends what it was, because it's ludicrously good potentially. It's a 6, 6, and 1.
Oh,
Okay.
So it could have been a 7. It could have been a fail. But there we go. Thank you, Spares. Spares has just potentially helped out quite big time.
saved Sammy.
Save Sammy. You yourself, Sparrow, has saved Sammy's life.
Save Sammy, save the world.
He
Sparrow.
does a quick check on his on his sort of hand tablet and says, "I have just the vessel.
Oh, that's
One of my best, in fact. Nearby, available. Hasn't been used in quite a while, which is ideal. I will have her here within the hour."
Oh wow. That sounds. That's very. It's a weight off our minds. Thank you. We knew that you would come through. You come highly recommended, and everything you've told us means that we feel we can put a lot of trust and faith in your expertise.
Excellent. I can also tell you that based on the vessel's current price scale, the price will work out at 30,000 credits.
Oh my goodness. Is that for everything or just for the vessel?
That's the whole price.
Seems. Cara looks at Steph and says, "Does that seem reasonable to you, Stefan? Does that seem? I guess it's the going price."
I mean, we're going to have to, aren't we? We might have to scrape around a bit for it. And he sort of just thinks for a moment, but I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can find it.
Sure. While we're waiting, we're at a loose end. Is there anything that we can do for you while we're waiting? While we're hanging around? Anything you need? Anything you want?
I really must stay here, of course, and await the vessel's arrival. And I have a little bit of preparation to do. I have to select a case and prepare it for the work. However, there are a couple of things you could do for me. He sort of wanders over to the wall and starts looking at the individual cases.
I'm not taking them for a walk, Stefan.
Funny you should say that.
Need a bit of fresh air.
He eventually selects one of the cases and grabs hold of it and pulls it out from the rack. As he does so, you realize that each and every case is individually mounted into, it's almost like a wine rack, and can be pulled out. And he takes it out far enough until it reveals sort of handles on the sides, and then grabs hold of those to pull it the rest of the way. And he turns to Stefan and said, "You wouldn't mind taking this upstairs for me?"
No, of course not. Which whereabouts?
Just leave it by the door at the far end of the lounge.
Outside the door.
Oh yes, please, outside the door.
Okay, of course. He'll take it off him and go upstairs, I guess.
Okay. You make your way up the stairs and past the same sofas that have been described before. As you go, you might catch a glimpse of one of the unconscious people give a little twitch or a little bit of a moan as they lie there, basically passed out, but nothing particularly alarming. There are doors down both sides, and then at the far end there is indeed a door standing, on its own. It's the only one on that wall, and directly when you look at it, there is a monitor screen mounted in the wall beside it.
Okay, he'll just take note of the door, I guess. He'll put the sand crate down outside the door. And then walk back down the corridor towards the stairs. But as he goes, can you just keep an eye out for any cameras down the corridor?
Certainly can. I'm looking for cameras. Can you roll a streetwise check for me, please, with intellect?
Yes. That's an 11 plus 2.
Okay. There are a couple of cameras upstairs, one covering the main look down the stairwell and into the main downstairs area. And there's another one on directly the opposite side, which would also, I suppose, catch the staircase, but face onto it rather than looking down it, if you see what I mean. And between them, they kind of form a cross across that lounge on the upstairs.
Okay, cool. He'll just keep a mental note of that and head downstairs.
Okay.
As much as I really wanted to check out that door.
Excellent. Thank you. Yes, there is one other thing. I don't necessarily get the right kind of visitor here, and the nature of my business means I can't easily leave the premises. I'm always looking, especially now, for a substantial expansion in my property. If there is somewhere you could find or hear of that was available in the very outer part of the ring, significantly larger than this place, perhaps a bit more isolated. I wish I had time to explore. It's not that I can't see suitable places, but I never have time to then investigate them or to visit the bars or the places where these people hang out, where they might be talking about one that's available or empty or completely unused. If you could find such information, that would be not merely helpful for me, it would actually be valuable for me.
We can keep an ear to the ground, can't we, Cara?
We can. Speaking of ears to the ground, you don't happen to know, like you, I like to do a bit of business. Unlike you, I don't have the skills to sort of save people from death in such a way, but I like to try my hand at trading this and that, bringing, like you say, bringing a service to people that need it. We've been told of sort of the traders up at the port in the centre. You don't happen to know of people around this part of town that might be willing to trade items, maybe not so many questions asked at all, would you?
Well, the legitimate traders, of course, tend to either work out of the Travelers Aid Society in the domes, or if they're not too worried about the provenance of something, a visit to the lagoon is probably worth it.
The lagoon. Tell me more.
The lagoon's sort of a big hut, really, but it's the kind of place where people meet to see if they can catch whiff of a trade. I would love to be able to extend my own business to that kind of thing, but for one reason or another, people don't seem to want my business too close to the center of town. I think it's frankly just irrational fears on their part, but it's a shame, really, because I could offer a really nice atmosphere for some trading.
I guess once someone gets an unfair reputation, the reputation sticks, I feel.
Oh, indeed. People after a while seem to be unable to differentiate me from my pets.
Ah, that's true. When you become the snake man, you're the snake man, I suppose, despite all your skills and your qualities.
It does seem to be the case.
This lagoon, the big hut, that's not the where's that? Is that over at Azurport, or is that elsewhere?
It's in the ring, more or less most of the way round from here, but it's much closer to the downport part. It's just behind the very front row of properties. You can't really miss it. It's big, and if you stand on the downport side, you can actually see its sign above the front row of smaller buildings.
Oh, this is the place we were told last week, wasn't it? This is the place we talked about last week, wasn't it? We just weren't given the name. A free market, the other side of Azurport, near the downport, signage visible. But we've got a name for it now, so we're good. Okay. Cool. That's really helpful. Thank you. I guess, like you say, we've got a bit of time now while everything comes together. Cara says, Stefan, do you mind giving him your contact details so he can get in touch with us?
No, not at all.
Noticing very clearly that for once Cara hasn't offered hers. I think pretty much the first time that's ever been the case.
I think so. And Stefan will, throw over his contact details.
I'll tell you what, we like to hang out with. We like to think we exist outside of
the law.
Outside of the strata of society. We can enjoy a comfy bed, and we can hang out and chat in the in the most tin built shed of a bar. I'm sure that we can talk around and find some property leads for you, and we'll have a mooch around and let us know when you want us to bring our dear friend or take the vessel over to our dear friend.
As I say, the vessel will be here, not very long now, probably half an hour or so. For, I hope it will be obvious reasons, I'm going to need to arrange for a couple of people to come along and help with the actual process, or you can come back and do it yourself if you like. It's not a skilled task. But I can let you know when she's here.
Please do, and then depending on what we're doing, we'll make a decision based on that, I guess. Thank you.
Okay.
Cara finishes the suds of her beer. Puts another, although that's more than what the beer's worth, I guess she puts another 10 credits on the table.
Okay. Yes, it is. It's about twice what it's worth.
That's fine. And she says, right, shall we go and leave this specialist to his specialism?
Yes, yeah. Let's let the artisan art, and we'll
Can art be a verb?
contact the rest of them, I suppose, and let them know what's going on at least.
Let us art.
That's a very good question, Luke. One I'm not qualified to answer.
Kara's going to start using it now, though. You've opened, you've released the genie from the bottle.
Arting around.
To art. Let us art together. And you can rogue. Let us art and rogue together.
Okay.
Come, my friend. Let us art and rogue. Zoe, you can come and frown.
As most people do around us.
Well, Zoe picks herself up and nods to Stelt, and follows you guys to the door. Once you're outside, her pace seems to be a little bit more brisk than normal. Like she's quite eager to put a bit of distance between herself and that place.
When we get outside, Stefan will just look at Carl and say, "Well, thanks. Now I've got to get myself another phone." Personal communicator.
Come on, man. I've only known you a few months, and you've already been for a load of burners in that time.
Now another one.
No. They're not that expensive, at least.
Yeah, that's true. And we know a place, don't we? We know a place here.
Who'd have thought that Nokia still gets their phones around the Imperium?
These 3210s are indestructible.
I've had thousands of years old, I've heard, and they still don't break.
This one I haven't had to charge up since I bought it.
Hewn from the living rock.
I heard that they've never changed the design since the day they built them.
Well.
Oh, they hit on perfection straight away.
Quite right.
Oh.
Okay, so where are you heading?
All right. Zoe, are you all right?
Yeah. Unpleasant man.
Sadly, I feel like he's our only bet.
I don't think you're wrong. I just wish he was a different kind of person.
I mean, there's nothing to. We don't know what we're going to do once the cure has been administered, I suppose, without going too far ahead. And Stefan will take the time and he'll explain to Kara the conversation that they had when she was in the loo.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly.
Really? Wow. Oh man. Wow. So 30,000 was a good price then.
It was a very good roll.
Yeah, it was a very good roll. Thanks. There's a reason for that. Hang on. Where's it gone? Thanks, Sparrow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends. If he says that they haven't been used in a while, they're probably quite eager to get their fix. I suppose is the reason.
I think narratively that's the reason. 15 minus 2d6 times 10,000 is technically the reason. But...
Yes.
Oh wow! So it could have been a lot.
Yeah.
It could have been up to 130,000. Oh my goodness.
I have to say though, I'm kind of with
50,000.
Sorry, yeah, Stefan will say I have to say that I'm kind of with Zoe on this one. I sort of know the type. It doesn't sit right.
No. The thing is, right, if it was just a scumbag, we're peaceful people, but we've dealt with scumbags in the past.
I mean, I'm just a scumbag.
No, you are just you've dealt with scumbags, gardeners, they're all the same to you. But the rest of us, we're a bit more picky. But the thing is, this guy actually does a service. That's the worst thing. Do you know what I mean? He's like a drug lord with his mules, purposefully getting them doped up, purposefully charging money. Horrible person, but what can you do? Without him, people are dropping more money for years of treatment in the hospital.
That is true. And I would imagine more people that can't afford it would perish.
Exactly. It's the greater good thing, man. Do you know what I mean? The question is, though, do we like him enough to try and find this big building of his? I don't think I care that much.
I tell you what, I'd be interested to take the vessel to Sammy and find out from them
Get them separate.
How much of the 30,000 they see.
That's a good call. As long as you don't try and get them on our crew, you've got a habit of doing that, Stefan. We're already running out of rooms on the Baltic Star for all our new crew members.
Yes, add in one junkie.
I'm not sitting with them while they're going through detox for.
We'd have to take a Sancrate as well, I suppose, to ease them off.
Oh no, bit by bit. You've got to go cold turkey with the Sancrates, I've heard. Cold snake. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, I'm not convinced I want to write the Rose's Cat episode where Caboodle meets the sand crate.
Oh no. Although we have got the Moant eggs on board. Moants and Sancrates live together. Oh.
We could start the world's largest, or I suppose the universe's, the Baltic Star's largest terrarium.
we have got
some sand crates and some.
The Baltic Star's largest terrarium.
a travelling terrarium. We could go from planet to planet with all the. We have got tanks, Ben, of course. Before our stream started, we bought a number of tanks for small creatures. We could literally take a sand crate with us. Not that I want to, but we bought tanks for many creatures. About half an hour, whatever it's going to be, is far too short a time to get across and do any trading of any note. Kara's going to ping a call to Sutter, if that's okay. A rare call to Sutter.
Of course.
Gerg, you there?
Yep, here.
How's our patient?
Stable. Deteriorating slightly in terms of stats. I've been taking measurements every 15 to 20 minutes. It doesn't seem catastrophic yet.
That's good. We've got a lead on hopefully a cure. You'll be pleased that you didn't have to go into. You wouldn't have liked it in there, but we've contacted the guy, and hopefully, timings wise, we should be okay if everything runs smoothly.
Okay, I've been doing some research. It turns out there is a way you can chelate the stuff out of the blood, but it's more than a chore.
That sounds pretty similar to what the hospital was offering here, with its months and months and months of treatment over many moons. Sounds like a lot of work. This guy, at least, the one thing he's got going for him, he talks sense about that sort of natural thing in the body fighting off the venom. The way he does it. I'm no scientist. I'm literally no scientist. But even I can tell that's probably a good way of doing it.
Cara, why are you waving a piece of paper around?
This is my proof. This is my art degree.
It's your art degree, philosophy. Your philosophy degree.
My philosophy degree, exactly.
Quite right too.
I'll tell you what, Gerg. I still haven't seen the inside of those things. Those rooms I just dropped 11 grand for the other day. I hope they're lovely.
They really are, and there's plenty of space for Sammy, which is important at the moment.
That is good. Do we have enough peanuts for Soraya?
I don't care.
Telling it like it is.
It's why we love you, Gerg. Keep up the good work. Not that you need us to tell you that. And Cara hangs up.
Okay.
Stefan, what do you want to do? Feels like we've got a weird amount of time.
How far was it to that tech shop?
A fair way from here. It's most of the way round. Because of the fact that the ring is built around the outside of the downport, which is around the domes. If you're cutting sort of across it from inside to out, it's not very far. But if where you want to get to is a significant distance the way round, it can take a while.
Actually, I've got an idea, Stefan. Can we go back to the Circle Club and grab a table? I left a bug and I'd like to listen in.
Oh, well, we're on the subject actually. There's a couple of cameras upstairs. I hope you weren't wandering around where you weren't supposed to be.
Well, I accidentally wandered one way and did a and then wandered back the other way, and I think I was pretty slick with what I was doing.
Okay.
I guess.
Well, as long as you made enough of a motion for it to be picked up on crappy quality CCTV.
Well, you know that thing where you walk down a street and then you realise you've gone the wrong way, and then you make a big thing about like looking at your phone and going, "Oh, my friends just texted and they're not meeting me anymore." Oh, and then you do that and you walk back the other way. That's pretty much what I did.
I don't actually. I'm pretty street savvy, but I've done it in the forest a couple of times.
Well, when no one's looking, I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that'll be okay. Shall we go and sit down and I'll plug in and have a listen, and you can have another sparkling water.
Yeah, sure. While we're there, you can wipe all of my valuable information off of this personal communicator for when I get another one for me.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So you make your way to the Circle Club.
Yes, please. Yeah, it's near enough by. We know it, and
it is. It's not that far away. It'll take you a few minutes to get there, but as you say, you know the way, and you can be there fairly quickly. And once inside, you easily find yourself a table. The Circle Club is not completely empty, but the people who are there are mostly minding their own business, chatting quietly.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope you're having a lovely day. Don't mind us. Just some out-of-towners putting 100 credits behind the bar for you. Thank you.
Lovely.
I've got to keep everyone happy.
Oh, quite right.
Yeah. And of course, Ren has been helpful to us as far as we're aware. So
yeah, Ren is there.
How are you doing, Ren? Thank you for that. We've had a chat with our shared friend.
He's every time I see him, I think I don't need to ever see him again.
Zoe, how would you describe him?
Zoe thinks about it for a second and says, like slime of some description.
I see. At least everyone has a shared opinion.
I think I prefer the sand crates.
But I think slime does have its uses. It can lubricate things, and maybe he lubricates things that are important. But yeah, not a fan.
None of us are. I'll have a beer and whatever my friends are having. Is there a table for you that I can set up my laptop on and do my work?
Yes. Yep, there's a perfectly decent sized table you can all settle down at.
Cool. If everyone's happy with that, I'd like to log onto the laptop and see if I can plug a headphone in and see if I can connect to the bug, please.
Okay. All right. You turn on the bug, and initially you can't hear much of anything, and then you hear a call going through, It seems that Stealth isn't particularly cautious with the way he speaks when he thinks he's alone. Yeah, can you roll an investigate check for me, please, with intellect?
Oh, thank goodness you said intellect. Okay. Oh man, I wish it was. I love The Wire. Poor old Stringer Bell. The thing is, in The Wire, I always liked McNulty, and McNulty's a jerk, and I know McNulty's a jerk, but McNulty's a really good cop as well. And in a great series like The Wire, where the cops and the gangsters and that are treated equally with reverence and hatred and stuff, I always think McNulty comes across quite well, despite him being an absolute jerk, because everyone's a shade of grey in The Wire. Okay, well, we'll see. Don't know. It's going to be a 6, Ben, overall.
Okay. You catch a bit of a conversation in which apparently Stealth is explaining to the person coming in what their cut will be, but unfortunately you don't actually catch the relevant numbers.
Okay.
Sorry, it was a good thought.
Yeah, that's okay. But I like the potential of Stefan's thought about we might have another shot if we decide to bring them over to ours, which I quite like as well. It was doubling up on the options, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
I was just like, man, I couldn't make it out. I don't know if the position was good or not, but it was. They were talking about cut, but I don't know numbers. But it seems legit, at least. It doesn't sound like he's trying to. He might be trying to shaft us with the money, but not shaft us with the actual treatment, if that makes sense.
I mean, I don't mind us getting shafted so much, you know.
Just don't want Sammy to get shafted.
Sammy, we're talking about. We've got to pay. It's more the what was the term? The vessel. You know, that I worry about.
Well, if we get the vessel over to our hotel, like I say, as long as you don't get them to join the crew, we can try and find out, and then we can sort something out after that if need be.
He almost audibly rolls his eyes when Kara says, "As long as you don't get them to join the crew." Being as I think, is it every person?
Nope.
No, there might have been one off.
Well, you didn't invite Fess along.
Oh, that's true.
Or March Temple.
No, you. To be fair, I invited Rose.
Yeah.
But you invited Freya Kranev.
That's true. That is true.
Yes.
We might be even.
We're probably even. We just want a nice big happy band of friends. That's all we need. We want to fill that bar. That's all we want.
Yeah.
I basically want to. Cara just wants to run pub quiz nights, and she needs teams. I need at least 3 teams of 4 to make it worth my while. And until we can get
that'd be good stream content.
We
can do this. We can do this.
We can go back to Baltic Star after hours again.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to do in the little window you've got left?
It feels like a very little window.
It does.
We've contacted to check on Sammy. What I might do, Ewan. Who is So we've got a lot of our crew at the place, aren't they? Let me flick it out.
There's a fair few.
Oh, there we go. We've got. I'll tell you what. There's 2 people I really want to contact. Cara would like to contact Rose, please, if that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Rose. How you doing, babes?
Good. Bit worried about Sammy.
Man, we all are. It's not great, is it? But we're on it. Don't worry about it. We've always got you guys' backs. You know, you lot put up with a lot from us, and so we try and look after you guys. You know, we're a family, aren't we? At the end of the day.
Yeah. Just hurry.
We will do. Do you want something to take your mind off things?
Sure.
You getting on all right with Johnny at the minute?
Yeah.
So we got a place, right? I've been tipped off to this place called the Lagoon. It's like this trading hall. It's near you. It's just where we've gone, like, up the northern part of it, the other side of town. There's a massive sign saying Lagoon by the main port area.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
I want to go and do some trading there later. Do you two want to go and have a mooch around? Sort of. I trust you two to sort of have a good eye for interesting people and situations.
Sure. We'll check it out. Anything in particular you're after?
Um, it's hard. Like, can you get a? I feel like this is not the place to flog fish. You can always catch if anyone's interested in fish, but oh no, because I bought this stuff miles away, and we need small stuff, very small stuff that maybe Stefan could. How big's your compartment, Stefan?
Oh, now you got me. That's a very good question. There was a specific. Hold on. It's 8-inch diameter, 5 kilograms of mass. It can hold.
Oh, like a little shoebox in your belly. Little stuff. It can be illicit. It can be dodgy, but small stuff that has trade value, I guess.
Okay.
It doesn't need to be totally kosher, if you know what I mean. So just lurk around the edges, get a vibe. That's what you two are like spot on for this.
All right.
Thank you.
Then, just out of curiosity, how big were the sound crates?
Oh no!
About 30 centimeters long, and for the majority of their length, until you get to the head, only a little over a centimeter in diameter.
Oh, okay, cool.
The head is
You know those
considerably
cans
bigger.
of cans of snakes that you open, they spring out and surprise people.
A belly of snakes.
Is that a valid weapon? I'm not sure.
When you're being attacked.
Well, it's undeniably a weapon. I'm just not sure who it's aimed at.
At least I've got a title for this stream. The one where Stefan considers a belly of snakes. Oh no.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Crates of crates.
Crazy. Oh my goodness. Okay. And then Cara finished off by saying that if you two, as always, if you spend anything, let me know. We've got our ship's finances. Yeah, don't be out of pocket. Have a nice, just have a nice afternoon because I know things are stressful. Just go
Okay,
chill.
thanks.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, and then she'll hang up from there.
Okay, is that both of the people you wanted to contact, or was there a separate one you wanted to make?
That was it. Is there anyone you want to contact, Stefan? I can't think of anyone else personally.
No, I think that sort of covers some bases.
All right. Then in that case, it's moments later when the communicator that Stefan is about to discard pops into life with a message from Stelt. And he says, "The vessel's here. The quicker you can get here, the quicker we can get started." And I think that's where we should take our break.
That's a very good place for a break, actually.
It is indeed.
Oh, the vessel. The vessel has arrived.
So clinical.
Arrived.
So clinical, isn't he? Creepy. No wonder Zoe hates him. Right, on that bombshell, should we go for a break? Let's take a 5-minute break for fresh air, a wee, a drink, some snacks, whatever people need. Hang around, come back after break for the most important part, which is the toast. And we'll go from there. Thank you, everyone. Let me do the clever bits. Bear with me. So I have to change this. Right, let's get the music going. Music's on. Music's on. That's the important thing. Then I need to get rid of that and that and
They're like a
that.
Twitch tutorial live for OBS. It's amazing.
People like to know what's going on. It's like showing. That's why people like going to those bars and things that you can actually see. They sort of peel back the wall and you can actually see the metal work and the stud work. So people love that sort of thing these days.
I feel it's only a tutorial though if people are familiar enough that they know what that and do that.
Those open light bulbs that are really popular right now. Yeah, that's what this stream's all about. Anyway, let's turn up our audio and let's go have a break. See you guys in a few minutes.
See you soon.
See you.
How dare you, Ewan? I was brought up on weird crisps. It says a lot, to be honest. They taste exactly the same as they did back then. They're better than Quavers, though. I don't like Quavers at all.
Mm.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star, Season 2, Episode 10. You've joined us for the most important part of the evening, the toast to a fallen comrade. And due to losing, I believe it was a dice game the other week.
It was.
It has all cycled back to me again, which, interestingly, considering I've never cheated on those games either way, it seems to have cycled around really honestly, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no one's doubled up yet.
No, exactly. I'm happy giving the toast. I'm happy not giving the toast. It's back this way again. So, anyway, tonight's toast. Tonight's toast takes the form of some wise words from some fine wordsmiths, and it's something I feel that can hit us all deeply and can affect us. So I'd like you to focus. I'm going to make people hold the glass again because that's what I did the other time. I think it's important. Hold the glass in your hand already. I suggest resting your elbow on something so your arm doesn't get too tired.
Yep, way ahead of you.
Stare into the eyes of Greyhill or Ben, either way. One of the two.
It's the same, isn't it?
It's the same. It's
the same
literally
thing.
the same. While I bring you the words from the prophets. Whiskey glass and gin forever. A dream of you and me together. Say you believe it. Say you believe it. Free your mind of sleep and soberness. Be for real, then be a stranger. We can achieve it. We can achieve it. Come to the bar tonight, baby. Get it on, get it on. 'Cause tonight is the night when two become one. I need some beer like I never needed beer before. Want to drink beer with you, baby. I had a little gin. Now I'm back for more. Want to have more gin too, baby. Set your spirits free. It's the only way to be. It was written on his gravestone. It still rings true to this day. To the late, great Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
The Greyhill Bass. I need to remember not to fill my mug up quite so high if I'm going to be laughing. Oh, that was a close call.
Thank you very much.
What a joy. It's nice
So,
to get some culture in the thread for once.
You make your way swiftly back to the Venom Cafe and let yourselves in through the front entrance. There's no one downstairs this time. However, the noise of the sort of slightly airlocky sort of thing, cycling, the air filter doorway cycling, is easily discernible inside. And your host, Corin Stelt, leans over the banister at the top to check who it is. And when he sees it's you three, he yells out, "Excellent! Come on up, quick!"
Shall we, Cara? And he'll gesture. Stefan will gesture up the stairs.
After,
Shall we?
after you two.
And Stefan will head up.
Okay. You make your way upstairs. The three elderly sofas are unoccupied now. Stelt is at the end of the open lounge sort of area, and he is standing next to a young woman. She's about the same age as Rose, you'd imagine, sort of 19, 20 kind of age. She is extremely thin, emaciated almost. And her eyes appear a little bit glazed, like she's not easily focusing on things. And Stelt beckons you over and says, "Meet your vessel."
Oh, I want to take her on the crew.
Stefan looks at Kara and sort of gauges that, I guess. Rolls his eyes even more audibly.
Yeah, she does. She doesn't say it, but she's very much like. Oh. Clara goes forward and holds her hand out to shake the hand. Hi, I'm Kara. What's your name?
Oh, don't give her a name, you'll only get attached.
Like naming fish. She sort of focuses quite slowly, and then she just says, "Suda."
So how are we spelling Suda?
Suda.
Is Suda. Is that your real name or is it a pseudonym?
She doesn't react. And nor do I.
Well, you should. A good referee would. I'd get boons for the rest of the night. Suda, I hear you're our vessel for our friend.
Yeah.
I'm sure nothing we can say is of interest of you as much as what you're feeling right now and doing what you need to do.
Stelt is clearly impatient to be getting on with it. He uses a handheld device to unlock the door at the end and opens the door. On the inside, there is a relatively small room. It's not tiny. It's not like a closet, but it's, not huge. The size of a small bedroom. And in the middle of it, a chair, just a very basic plastic chair. Suda doesn't seem to react. So he takes her by the elbow and pulls her, not particularly roughly, through the door and sits her down in the chair. And then collects the glass case with the sand crates and pulls it in and puts it in front of her. And as soon as he does, she starts reaching for it, and he actually slaps her hand. Not yet. And then he backs out, makes sure all of you are out of the room, closes the door, and locks it again with his handheld device. And this time, the little viewing panel next to it comes on, showing a camera that depicts what's going on inside the room. Suda waits for just a few seconds and then reaches out for the case again. And after a couple of fumbles with it, manages to get the lid open. From within, 3 sand crates emerge immediately. They're very, very flexible bodies, almost whirling in the air as they flick themselves out of the top of the case. And within seconds, all 3 leap towards her and bite into her legs. 2 on one leg and the other on her, 2 on her right leg and 1 on her left leg. You can actually see on the camera the extent to which those powerful jaws are biting hard down into the legs. And Suda lets out a few cries of pain as they really dig in. But within a few minutes, she seems to stop making so much of a fuss. It's sort of, she relaxes a bit, and she starts to breathe deeply, lean back in the chair, almost as if she's having an ecstatic moment. The crates, not getting any kind of resistance, seem to relax and just hang against her leg, but they're not letting go. They are gripped on still as firmly. And there's almost an impression of like pulsing to them periodically, like they are pouring venom into her. If it surprises them that she's not screaming in agony anymore, they don't show it. They are, after all, snakes. And Stelt is carefully glancing at the time periodically, looking back at the screen. He says, "Just a few more minutes, and then we can go in."
Couldn't that kill a normal person? That.
Oh, they've given her enough venom to kill hundreds and hundreds of people.
How many years has she been building this? I don't know. Immunity, this buzz up for?
I don't know exactly. 5 or 10, I guess.
Wow. Oh, Ewan. Gonna make me want to burn things down. She could have been 10 when this started. Okay. My goodness. What's the do these people have like a life expectancy on this? This seems crazy.
It's not life limiting, no.
Wow. Do they have to get to a certain level before they're of, and I hate to use my inverted commas here, of use? Or can even
Oh,
can
yeah.
they
Yeah. What you got to remember here is that the venom of the sand crate is a common recreational drug around here. So lots of people get into it, and they dilute it very heavily to begin with. But then over time, in order to get the effect they want, they go stronger and stronger and stronger. And eventually, you get to the point where not only do they survive something like this, they actually enjoy it.
She seems to be right at the point of that graph.
It's highly addictive. If she didn't come here for it, she'd go somewhere else.
And I guess your viewpoint is that you're paying her for it.
She's getting money. She's also getting uncut.
I didn't realise that Sancrate venom was such a thing as a drug around here.
Oh, yeah. And you don't need it fresh. Not for the euphoric effect. If you're only using it as a recreational drug, you can store it for quite prolonged periods of time. It even freezes. It's just no use for a medicinal purpose that way.
No, of course, I guess. Tell me something. Do you know about scale?
Well, yeah.
Right. I've heard we've heard it mentioned. Is it of is that something that people use as part of this thing? Is it cut with it, or is that anything to do with this?
Scale's used as either as a filter or as a way of depositing out unwanted chemicals within a mixture. So It's used in the pharmaceutical industry. It's used in the making of all sorts of drugs, including some that are either extremely illegal or you need very special permission to use medically.
Is it valuable?
Yes, it's expensive to make, and to the right buyer, sure.
But I'm guessing that's not the sort of thing you just walk into a hospital and say, do you want to buy some scale?
Well, no, it would normally be used by people who are manufacturing medicines or drugs, but you need a license, you understand, to trade in it because of its illicit uses.
So what do people use it for illicitly? Just for cutting their stuff, so up in purity of things, taking off the poisonous edge of things?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of things that you can make illegally where you mix together some fairly available chemicals and then afterwards you want to pull out the things that'll kill you.
And
Use scale for that.
The scale set. Ewan, do you know what I'm talking? Do you know the scale I'm talking about? What I'm talking on?
Yeah.
Interesting. We have a bit of scale. We came across it. Do you know what I mean? Like empty locker kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anyone on Dilub Rou that's worth talking to about it?
Well, of course, I don't handle illegal drugs.
No, you don't. You're a totally legitimate businessman. And a help one. More than that, you provide a civic service.
I mean, I'd be tempted to say there are places you could ask, but I couldn't make an introduction.
That's okay. We wouldn't want to twizzle you in with people you don't know. Where would you say locally is a good place to go and ask around?
Well, you could start at any of the bars, clubs, and places right on this outside edge of the ring. Literally walk around and stick your nose in any. You might not get lucky, but the people who are after what you're talking about, they move from place to place. Their customers know where to find them, but it's not reliable. I mean, they don't always go back to the same place week on week.
Like, as someone that is doing us a civic service and as someone that we're providing money for this service, now that we're sort of doing business together, what is a rate for scale? You know, we just don't want to be ripped off. Do you know what I mean? And as you're not buying, you don't want any competitors or anything to get a good deal over you on stuff. So,
well, yeah, I mean, it depends the kind of volume you're talking about.
okay.
If you're selling by the kilo, legal market rate might rise to 1,000 credits a kilo.
Legal is 1,000 credits a kilo. Let me just check how much we've got. 1,000 credits a kilo. Well, each box we've got is 28 kilos. Was that 28? Is that right? Got flat plastic boxes.
You've got a total of 112 kilos in that fine.
That makes it 112 kilos. Okay.
8 kilogram packs, and there are 14 of them.
We have 112 kilos. Did you say? He reckons. So Stout reckons legal is £1,000 a kilo. Legally, like for the legal folk.
That's the sort of rough market price for it, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And I'm guessing illegal goes from there.
Yeah, usually more, occasionally less, depending.
The market decides.
Would Stefan be able to guesstimate the non-licensed sale of such a substance?
Yeah, possibly. Can you roll an education check for me?
Oh dear.
With I'm going to go with something like carouse. It's not exactly your hitting zone, but you do have some of these experiences peripherally in your background.
Sure, or at least people that would have been around that, I guess. That is an 8 -1 +1. Makes
Okay.
it.
Yeah, you've got a fighting chance. You've certainly got a fighting chance of spotting the signs on any bar you walked past or just stuck your head in. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, cool. That's good. I'm happy just to wait a couple of minutes.
Okay.
Unless obviously Kara has
No.
anything else.
No, I was just making conversation while the crates were doing their thing.
Okay. After a couple of moments, he checks the screen again, studies it quite carefully, and then he reaches over beside the door and pulls out a sort of an implement that looks a bit like a pair of pliers. There are several of them, and he hands one of them to each of you. He says, okay, simple as this. You go in, you grab the crate right behind the head. It's not twisting or fighting around. It's not throwing its weight about. So you're not going to need to worry about getting a firm grip. But make sure you do get a firm grip. Take the plier, slide it over the lower jaw, bite down with the plier, twist it down until you hear it snap, pull the snake off, and then throw it in the case. I'll worry about bandaging them up later.
Oh, he's despicable, isn't he?
Okay, I think I got that.
Okay? Don't worry too much about the bite. They've given up all their venom by now. He unlocks the door, and it slides open, and you walk in. Suda is lying back in absolute ecstasy, breathing very deeply, and the snakes are lying completely still against her legs. He walks over and, sort of nodding to you, grabs a snake, puts the pliers in over the lower jaw, quick flick of the wrist. You can hear it crack. He pulls the snake out, literally throws it in the case, and then watches you guys expectantly.
Stefan will do the same.
Okay. Can you roll for me, please?
Not as skilled, not as adept.
This is not necessarily in a hitting zone. This is athletics dexterity with dexterity, please.
For goodness sake.
Well, that's okay. That is a 6 + 4.
Lovely. You manage it with deft ease. The snakes are not particularly charismatic animals. You don't feel particularly guilty about breaking the jaw of one, especially if it's going to heal up later. You throw it in the case. The snakes seem quite lethargic now compared to how they were before, as if having given up all of their venom, they no longer have much energy either. And though they are writhing around in the case, they're not throwing themselves out of it or anything. Luke, your turn.
Can I just hand my pliers to Stefan?
Sure.
Do this for me, man.
Okay.
It's not my wheelhouse.
Yep, no worries. No worries. Does he need to take the pliers?
He's got a pair of pliers, so he
I'll
can
just use the
go.
same ones. But sure. I'll get yours. Do you want me to roll again then?
Please do.
Just in case. That is the same thing again. That is a 6 + 4.
Brilliant. Exactly the same. You throw it over into the case, and a couple of seconds later, Stealth slams the lid shut. Once he's secured it, he kicks it with his foot just to the side of the room, walks over and does a quick cursory examination of Suda. Just, checks that she's okay, but checks her pulse a bit. He says, "Perfect. She's reacting brilliantly. Now, basically, she's going to be out of it for 12 hours or so, and then she's going to wake right up. You won't believe it. She'll be a completely different person. And once she's here in 12 hours, her body will have processed all the toxin, produced this enormous raft of antitoxin particles within it, like it will have exploded in numbers in her bloodstream, and then either bring your friend round, or you can come and collect her from here and take her wherever you need to go."
Well, thank you very much. I guess we'll be in touch close to 12 hours as to whether to expect someone here or whether to expect us here to take Suda over.
Okay. He leans down, picks up one of her arms and throws it over his shoulder, helps her up off the chair. She's literally unresponsive. He's dragging her feet along the ground as he drags her out of the room and rests her down on one of the sofas, so she can lie in a bit of comfort while she's processing the poison. And then he goes back in and picks up the case, takes it to the other side of the room, the main lounge area, and pulls out a roll of medical tape. Says, "Unless you guys want to watch this part."
No, I think I'm all right. Thanks. We'll contact you in 12 hours, unless you want to stay, Cara.
I have absolutely no reason to stay. Zoe, I'm guessing you've got no reason either.
No reason at all.
Well, contact you later.
Okay. So you're heading out?
As we go, while his back's at some point, can Cara retrieve the bug, please?
Yes. Yeah, he's completely preoccupied with taping up the snakes.
Okay, cool. I thought there'd be a chance. Nice one. We'll be in touch. Stefan will be in touch. Cool. As they leave, Cara will noticeably give a big breath out, I guess, in her suit once it cycles through. She sort of looks over at Zoe, and she's like, "There, but for the grace of God, huh?"
Yeah. I mean, I've seen worse, but it isn't exactly a tourist hotel, is it?
Yeah, really not. Well, I guess we've got 12 hours. I'm trying to work out what our times were. We went down the mines late. Went down the mines late morning. Then we took a couple of hours back, so it's early afternoon. So it's mid after. So it's
It's getting on for early evening now.
So it's going to be morning anyway by the time.
Yeah, but it'll be early in the morning. I don't know, 6, something like that, 6, 7 o'clock when the time kicks over.
Stefan will set a reminder on his device, or the equivalent of some form of countdown or calendar reminder.
It's
just in case.
It's like the phone on a Sunday afternoon when it pings up. You haven't set an alarm for Monday yet. Shut up! I'm trying to ignore Monday. Car returns to Stefan says, well, to be honest, as much as that sucked, I'm actually looking forward to spending a night in a comfortable bed. And
I mean those hotel rooms. I could definitely do with a drink first though before we head back, and I guess get a very different, similar yet different experience with Sammy. Do you fancy a stuff off en route?
Well, it's up to you. Do you want to keep slumming it, or do you want to go and drink somewhere a bit fancier? In my shout.
I don't mind. I'm easy. I'm sure. In fact, I'm sure the hotel's got a bar, hasn't it? Did you see?
Yeah, the hotel's definitely got one. I think in Ben's descriptions. I think it's a
most
big,
definitely.
It's a big old place, isn't it? Because we're right at the top in the fancy rooms.
Yep.
It's a lovely place. Did you hear? I paid over 11,000 credits for it. I paid for 3 suites. 4 people per suite with lounge. 5 nights, 3 suites. 11,250, and this is we've done the first night. We've done 2 nights we did 2 nights at the nunnery. No, what? Yeah, 2 nights at the No, we did a night at the mine. We definitely did a night at the nunnery.
You had 1 night at the Priory, 1 night at the mine.
That's it, and we're back.
Yeah, back here for night 3.
Back here for night 3.
Yep.
Night 3. I'm looking forward to. I tell you what, the nunnery. It was hard bed. The cot at the mine didn't do it for me. I need
You've been roughing it a bit, yeah.
I need a big squishy bed and a bit of get the old the face packs on. Get Rose, Zoe, come on. Let's just chill for this. Have a couple of drinks, something nice to eat, and let's just have a nice relax as best as we can, and check on Sammy, of course.
Okay. You meander your way back through the outer ring part of the city, reaching the downport landing pads, and then you can just cut straight through one of the marked lanes. The sun is going down as you enter the domes themselves, and it's the first opportunity you've really had to see what they look like at night. And it seems that at night they are lit up internally with effectively star patterns, and these star patterns move very slowly to line up perfectly with the ones above Dilub Rou. You've gone in through the closest dome, but the one that contains the hotel, the Cadence, is 1 dome round. But now you're in the central hub of Azureport, and from one dome to the next isn't that big a walk. And if you remember, when you encounter the hotel, the entire sort of ground floor of the dome is this big open area with everything from forested areas to a sort of running track and a bit of a park and pools and things like that. And then above it, in a series of tiered arches, getting smaller at each level as it reaches towards the top of the dome, the Cadence Hotel stands on almost legs, if you like, but those legs are in fact the arch of the dome. It's effectively suspended from the ceiling of the dome. In Dilub Rou, inside domed cities, it is common to build property from the top down. And the Cadence has been built exactly that way.
I do remember you saying that when we visited many days, years, months ago now.
It feels a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's when we very first started the top-down building.
They built down from the top. Look at that. Ben's been... This is good GMing. Ben it's been like 2 years worth of canon in him there.
And those aren't even recorded, so we can't rewatch them.
Literally session 1 to whatever we are
this
now.
was pre-stream session 1. The buildings are built from the top down.
And they were drunken sessions, and we're probably realistically about session 70. And that is how legit.
Well, I do try.
Yeah, solid work.
Okay. You heading up into the hotel, or would you rather meander about on the ground for a bit?
Cara would like to drop a message to Kat, please.
Of course.
Hey, Kat, you there?
Yep.
Are you over at Dilub Rou yet? Have you sorted everything out you need to sort?
Yep, I'm in the Cascade. Where are you?
Ah, fantastic. We've just come back downstairs. I was wondering, I've had a legitimate, stressful couple of days. Well, you can probably tell from Sammy. I'm going to grab Rose. Do you want to come and grab a drink, something to eat downstairs? Like, just have a nice chill couple of hours.
That sounds lovely. She makes a suggestion as to where you can meet. Almost in the center of the dome, there is a lake. That lake contains a couple of islands connected by footbridges. It's all artificial, of course. And it's a shallow lake with islands connected by footbridges. And on one of those islands is an open air bar.
Honestly, that's so different in vibe to what we just come from. It's perfect.
With the stars moving slowly above.
That's perfect. I'll Rose and Johnny went for a wander. I'll get contact with them. Definitely get Rose over, and we're not going to go boy girl, but do you know what I mean? It'd be nice just to get down there. Anyone that wants to come. I'll see you there in about 40 minutes.
Sure.
Perfect. Can she give Rose a call as well, please? And
yes, absolutely.
Hey Rose, how's it going? You had a good time over there? Anything interesting?
Yeah. Bit of a recce done. Might have found you something maybe you're interested in.
Oh man, that sounds perfect. I've just got back to the dome. Do you want to come? And Johnny want to come with? Kat's tipped us off to like this sort of it's like a lake with islands and bridges and a bar and that. Do you want to come?
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Well, you probably know it better than me then. Do you want to come and hang out for the evening? Get a couple of hours in?
Sounds great. Johnny and I will be there in a few minutes.
Fantastic. We'll see you there. I'm getting a little bit of actual physical lift in my heart right now after all the misery. I'm all about getting the virtual people I love together for a drink.
Yeah, well, not everywhere in space is bleak and miserable and filled with toxic junkies.
Oh. Stefan, get Soraya down. Get Soraya down. She'll listen to you.
I'll give her a call. We should probably leave some people with Sammy though, not drag everyone out. But yeah, I'll give Soraya a call, and he'll call Soraya.
Cool.
Hello?
Hey, we're going for drinks. You in?
Yes.
Okay. And he'll give her a description of where we're going. There's a lake with an open air bar. Apparently, we're heading there. We'll be about 40 minutes.
I'll be there in 5.
Mine's a beer.
Yeah. I've got it. I'm on it. Don't you worry.
Yeah, that's all good. Anyone else, Carl?
I'll have a look at the list of the people we've got. So we've got Zoe's with us. I'm guessing Zoe will lurk with us unless she doesn't want to. Zoe, you hanging around?
Yeah, I'll stick around for a drink.
So we've got we've got the girls' room, the Cara, Zoe, Rose, and Cat room. Strong room, that I like that room. Soraya and Stefan from the other room. Agnar and Rick are in that room as well. And then Sammy, Freya, Johnny is coming in. Sutter.
Well, Sutter probably should stay with Sammy, I would think.
I think that probably makes a lot of sense. We probably need to get Freya down. She's not been part of the crew for a while. Stefan, how about your new crewmate? Keep inviting people to our crew. Take responsibility for them. Unless you don't like her, actually, you just felt pressure.
Well, I had to. You've got to keep up with your other crewmates and all the people they're inviting onto the ship.
Yeah, he just didn't want your invitees to outnumber his invitees.
Exactly. I can't let there become an invitee gap.
We cannot allow a mineshaft gap.
My invitees are good at pouring drinks and serving us. What do your invitees do?
That's a good question.
She's a geologist.
They'll come to the bar to drink with us.
Yes.
And he'll give her a call. And he'll say, "Hey, we're going for drinks. Do you want to come?" Cara, who did you just call?
Did you just call her Boo?
No.
I thought I said, "Hey, Boo." I thought that's quite.
Hey, we're going
Whoa,
for drinks.
hey, Boo. I asked for you.
Wow.
I asked for you specifically. Can we listen back to that later? It's definitely a hey, Boo. Got an insight into Ewan's mind.
I didn't catch a hey boo, but I could have easily missed it. And now I'm just thinking the only reason you actually made that all up was to get me to say
it. Just clip him saying hey, Boo. That's it. Very short clip.
Yeah. Cara, who did you just call?
Rose and Kat and Johnny.
He'll say if you fancy it, I think Kat's on her way down from somewhere in the hotel. She can probably show you where we're going.
Sounds good.
Cool, perfect. We'll see you both there.
Great, thanks. It really isn't that many minutes before the crew starts to assemble, finding a quiet table and digging into a mimosa or two.
Oh, goodness.
It is, after all, what, fifth brunch?
It's definitely brunch.
Something like that.
It feels very brunchy, to be honest.
It does. A late night brunch.
I guess Soraya, if she gets, I can be Soraya again now. Soraya wanders down. She's not been there long. She sort of cleaned up, got sorted. She spent a couple of hours there, had a shower, got the dust out of her hair and all that sort of stuff. Got herself dressed into her normal stuff, then realised, I'm going out for the evening. So she puts on slightly nicer stuff. Not that she travels that heavy. She heads down, and she's the first down there. A little bit ahead of Freya and Cat. And she, oh yeah, I'll see you down there in a sec. I'll just be there. I'll see you there. And so she wanders across. Of course, she gets to the bar first.
Okay.
Tim,
Man,
a
It's been a
sight,
while.
a sight for sore eyes, Tim. How are you, my dear man?
it's been a very good day. Thank you. Yourself?
It's been an interesting day. Would you believe it if I told you I started the day out in the sandy mines?
The mines, what, in the desert?
Yeah.
Wow.
I woke up in a wooden cot, went down into a mine, came up, and now I'm here. I must say, it's an absolute pleasure to be sat here in these salubrious surroundings.
Well, I hope you have a good evening.
I hope so too, Tim, and I think you're going to be a large part of that. If I've heard good things about the service in this place.
We try our best.
How long have you worked here, Tim?
About 6 months.
6 months. What did you do before this, Tim?
I'm a newcomer to Dilub Rou. I came in from another world, not that far away.
Oh, we came in from world not far away. Geeker, you must know of Geeker.
I've never been, but sure.
Do you like buckyball, Tim?
Not especially.
Oh, Tim, you're breaking my heart here. What do you like, Tim? What is your pleasure?
My favourite thing, and the reason I suppose I was so eager to relocate here is swimming.
Swimming, Tim. What? Why is Dilub Rou like? Forgive my ignorance. I'm a traveller myself, Tim. Um, why is Dilub Rou the lure for a fine swimmer such as yourself?
He sort of waves his arm across at the lake and says, Azurport has a number of lakes like this that are suitable for swimming. They're stocked with some quite interesting fish, which you can swim with. And they are just a fantastic experience. Where I grew up, well, we didn't have swimming pools.
No swimming pools, Tim. Where did you grow up?
On Osin, you ever been?
We have been to Austin. We spent some time there. Um, when you grew up, do you remember the governor there?
Sure.
Oh, he's not the governor anymore.
Yeah, I heard that.
That was us, Tim. That was us.
What do you mean it was you?
Well, we were there. I think we said a little prayer, and then the next day it was a different governor. Are you a spiritual man, Tim?
Can't say I am.
When do you swim? Do you swim before work or after work?
Well, I swim most mornings if I can. And then, depending on my shift pattern, if I get off early enough, I tend to have a swim in the evening as well before bed.
Do you have time for a swim before bed tonight, Tim?
I doubt it.
Ah, it's disappointing. I'd love to have a swim in this lake. Is it something that anyone can do, or do you have to be sort of an employee to be able to do it?
The lake in this dome is technically part of the hotel. I don't think they enforce it all that strongly. If you don't cause too much trouble and don't get in anybody's way, I think they don't care that much. If you wanted to use one of the boats they have available, I think those are only let out to hotel guests.
Oh,
But
we are hotel guests. It must be said
well,
up in the suites.
in that case, you shouldn't have any trouble at all. You can literally just jump in the lake.
I do have. I get horrible flashbacks when I get in a boat, though, Tim. I have terrible memories of being in a boat.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is a real shame. Well, I'm here for a few days, and I'm going to leave you alone now. But me and my friends are going to be here for a few hours, and if you do, the next couple of days, if you sort of start a little bit late or get off a bit early and you fancy a swimming partner, then I do like it. Does look beautiful out there, and it's. I'm not a solo swimmer. I like to sort of frolic with a friend or two.
Well,
synchronized swimming and bucketball.
Exactly. Yeah, I can bring my own fish suit. No.
Okay.
Okay. And then, of course, she orders a couple of mimosas. Actually, one for her, one for Kat, and one for Freya.
Okay. Well, Kat and Freya are down moments later, and they make their way across to join her at the table, and they glance down, sort of catch a glimpse of a mimosa, and reach for one and settle down. And Kat immediately says, "Thank you. This is better."
It's nice here, isn't it? It's just, it feels like a nice, relaxing space.
It's genuinely very nice. I mean, it's no geeker, you understand, but still very nice.
Oh man, nothing could be geeker. I loved Geeker. It was, I think it's one of the best places we've visited. I think, thinking about it. Cat, remember that cat here? She oh no, too noisy in my ear.
His gun's out.
Sorry, it's really noisy in my ear because I have to have the headphones in and it runs through OBS, so I hear all the loud noises. Well, I've been working out a little bit. They're a bit more toned than they were a little while ago. Yeah. Yes. Cat here showed us all the scenes of Geeker. Frey, you've got to. I tell you what, the Cascade Bar, incredible. We met some incredible randoms there. There's this woman called Colonica. She was strange, very posh. She absolutely loved Agnar. You know Agnar upstairs. She kept rubbing his tail against her cheek. No one was looking. Very strange. But it was a great place, the Cascade. Do you miss it, Kat? Do you miss it yet, being on Geeker? It was quite a thing to sign up with us. I hope you thought it through.
I think I'm always going to miss Geeker a bit, but I'm always going to be more excited about what's next, you know?
It's a good way to think about things. We're the same.
And it turns out that even on a pretty barren hellhole like this, there's a bar under the stars on a little island in the middle of a lake with a mimosa in front of you. I mean, who can complain?
It's just like Geeker in its own little way.
Fewer sea bats.
Fewer sea bats, indeed. But what a joy. It's nice to chill out. And I guess they sit back and chill a bit as everyone else joins them, I suppose.
Okay. Yes, the one by one people filter in. I suspect the very last to arrive will probably be Rose, along with Johnny.
Stefan will say, "What's everyone drinking? It's my round. I'll head up."
There is a sort of fairly substantial chorus of mimosa.
Wonderful, glorious. Then he'll look over to Soraya. What about you, Boo?
Well, Boo. I'm glad you asked. I'm drinking 3 mimosas.
And he'll head to the bar and get some mimosas.
Excellent stuff.
She'll whisper into Stefan, she'll say, "Don't Don't cramp my style with Tim. Yeah. Big me up. Big me up, boo. Big me up.
I will. I will. And return with the mimosas, I guess.
Okay.
He won't big up to Tim.
Oh,
He just won't mention the Timming. It seems wrong if Soraya's not there. You know.
Yeah, it's not the same, is it? No.
No.
Cara will get a little bit excited as Rose arrives. And she likes Johnny. We all like Johnny. Johnny's nice. We like Johnny, don't we? But she gets excited with the Rose turning up because of their connection. Rose, how you doing? She sort of runs over, gives her a little squidge. Johnny, you're
Good. Thanks.
Johnny, you all right? Good.
Yeah, all right.
Good afternoon, the pair of you.
Yeah, not too bad. Went out and scoped out that place you told us about.
Yeah, how was it? Pretty interesting. A place that we can do some magical things.
It was fairly busy. I get the feeling it's busy most of the time. People always coming and going from the port. I wouldn't be surprised if it's busy even, early hours of the morning.
Wow. I can believe
Doesn't
it.
seem like a place people go for pleasure.
Okay.
It's where you go to pick up a contract or pick up a ride if you need a ship, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it looks like the sort of place you could do business. You could have a chat with a certain person in a certain corner and get stuff done.
Oh yeah. It's the way it's laid out. There are little booths around the corners and sides. You can walk around, find someone you want to chat with, and you just wander in and settle down, and people are there, the heads down, chatting away. I saw people wandering about looking for a ship for them or for luggage, looking for a trader to sell them something, looking for mercenaries and whatever's going, I guess.
If only we had the Baltic Star right with us. She sort of leans over to the rest of the group. Because after all, she says, Zoe, that's how we ended up with you as a friend, isn't it? We gave you a lift to where you and your guys needed to be.
It's true.
I miss the Baltic Star. We sort of we sort of pinged around here and there, sort of, as you would know, and but we can still get deals done. Did you know Stefan has a little secret hidey hole in his tummy tum? Did you know that?
You and I may have different definitions of the word secret.
It's not so secret. Well, it's still a secret if 7 people know.
The snakes on springs are secret. Stefan will shout out.
like one of those like the peanut jokes.
Yeah.
Two people can keep a secret as long as one of them's dead.
Oh, you're a cynical man. You're a cynical man. A little hidey hole in his little tummy tum. Exactly, Spez. Spez knows. If we're going to look, so I think we've once we sort of dealt with the most important thing. It'd be lovely if I trust you guys and Stefan, of course, Agnar's magical at speaking to people. I'm sure we can sort some things out down there. That'll be of interest to all of us, really. How are you doing, Johnny? Are you okay? What with your sister and that?
Yeah, I'm only going to stick around for a drink and then I'll head up.
It's understandable. What is she still? Last time, so is she still pretty conscious? Is she still with it?
She's alert. She's with it, but she's increasingly uncomfortable, distressed, shaky. It's not comfortable for her.
Send her our love and tell her that we're on it. We've sorted it. We're sort of dealing with it. Stefan's played a blinder. We're doing all right.
You've got the cure.
Yeah, we'll make sure she's okay. It's coming in tomorrow. When was it, Stefan?
It is about 10 hours, 15 minutes and 23 seconds until I make the call. I'm guesstimating then.
Yeah.
And then we just need to arrange meeting up. So yeah,
All right.
we're on it.
Well, obviously sooner is better, but thank you.
It's all right. It's like we understand that you need to go up. It's just I thought it'd be nice just to sort of. It's been a while since a load of us have had a drink, just caught a drink together. No, it's a shame that Agnar's not here, but you know.
Well, hopefully tomorrow night we can all make it out. I don't know how instantaneous it is, but you know, maybe Sammy as well at some point.
Oh, that'd be great.
We shall see. We probably should have asked about that, Cara.
How quickly the
recovery is. Yeah.
If I've got to pay for another 5 nights, I don't think the cards can take. If I've got to pay for them, we're staying here. We're not going on any adventures. Literally staying. We're going from up the room to down here for a little swim and a little bit of food, and that's it.
That sounds fair.
Okay. So is there anything you want to do, or are you just winding away an evening until people toddle off to bed one at a time?
I don't know if there's anything around there. I don't know about you, Ewan. I just like the vibe of a little crew get together.
Yeah. There's nothing in particular.
I like to think we can order a few platters of small finger foods and such like for the table.
Oh, absolutely.
Things. What's the sort of the cost? If everything went onto one tab at the end, so if we drank merrily, i.e., half a dozen. I know that Johnny will go up, but let's say between 3 and 6 mimosas a person, some platters of food. What are we looking at?
Well, it would work out at too little to worry about.
Okay.
Tracking. It would come into our normal routine of, it's going to be regular expenses.
Okay. Well, we keep track of regular expenses. Soraya will wander over to. If the night is. Did you say you don't want to do too much, Stefan?
No. I've got nothing other than have a few drinks and casual chat.
Oh. Soraya will head over to the Tim to ask for the check. She'll pull Stefan with her if he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's half a dozen mimosas down, some platters of nibbles. Hey Tim, how you doing?
Yeah.
Was that where?
Ma'am.
Well, you've been very good for us this evening, Tim.
He even called you ma'am.
I know. I thought we knew. Look, my name's Soraya. You don't need to stand on ceremony with me.
You can call her Tim.
And this is my friend Stefan. You can call him Boo.
Sir?
Tim.
Here's and she sort of flashes. She pings through about 500 credits.
Okay.
He says that's for that, and anything left over's for you, Tim. You've been wonderful to us this evening. Thank you so much.
That's amazingly generous. Thank you.
That's okay. We're generous people. It's a joy to be here. We've had a couple of stressful nights, and it's nice to enjoy these lovely surroundings. I was just wondering, Tim. How good are you at balancing things?
At balancing things?
Yes, Tim.
I can carry a tray of glasses.
You're talking my language. Okay. How do you feel about a little wager, Tim? An end of night wager.
Okay.
My friend here, Stefan, and I'm just going to flash his skills at you. He's a very dexterous man. Did you know? Did you know this one time? I never saw it myself, but he did tell me. You know Geeker. You said you knew Geeker.
Sure.
Once in the forest in Geeker, he did a perfect somersault when no one was watching. A perfect somersault.
With a tray of glasses.
He's you see, Tim. He's a dexterous man, and I think we don't want to do you out of money, do we, Stefan? We respect the working man, don't we, Stefan?
We do.
So it's a bet to nothing for you. I'll tell you, this is the bet. Okay, this is the bet, right? You and my boo Stefan here are gonna we're gonna stack some glass. We'll pay for breakages, okay, and I'll sign this for your management. And you'll take it in turns to walk from the bar to the table with a tray of glasses, and then we'll add more glasses.
Okay.
And the first person to drop a single glass or more loses. If you win, we'll pay you. We'll double it. We'll pay you another 1,000. We're paying breakages. Don't worry, and I'll talk to your manager.
There won't be any breakages.
Oh, that's why I liked him.
Fighting talk.
If
nudge Soraya.
So if you win, we'll pay you 1,000. And if Stefan wins, you and I are going for a swim at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can show me the lakes.
Okay.
Fantastic. Stefan, this is big, man. You don't let me down, Stefan.
Okay. Well, after you, good Tim.
All right. So Tim takes a small tray and stacks 8 glasses on it. Lifts it up on his fingertips and wanders with it over to the table and around and back with no trouble at all.
As he gets to the table and he's sort of out of earshot, Stefan will just nudge Soraya and say, "Are you using my dexterous skills to get a date with this Tim?"
I'm a fan of competition, my friend, my boo.
I don't mind.
Well, you've never shown an interest in swimming, Stefan.
That's because I don't have one.
With 8 glasses, your mark is 8, Stefan. And obviously you can use dexterity and athletics deck.
Wonderful. Haven't been warming any up. However, that is a 9 plus 4.
Oh,
13. I mean, if Tim did it perfectly comfortably, you did it with panache.
Obviously, he puts a little spin in at the end as he's getting back. Keeping both feet on the ground, but 12's a bit.
Okay. So are we upping the number of glasses?
Let's.
Okay. 10 glasses.
Wait, Spez, have we decided that Stefan stealing something now? Yes.
Tim, I'm afraid, doesn't quite make it.
Oh.
He gets all the way there, but on the way back, a slight misjudgment of the weight, and a couple of the glasses fall off the tray.
Are there any other bar staff?
No, just Tim.
As Tim is walking away from them, can Stefan attempt to swipe a bottle of something from behind the bar?
Sure. Can you roll a deception with Dex for me, please?
Yes. that's not bad. That's an 11 plus 2.
Not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Behave.
Yes, no trouble at all. You managed to secure a medium-sized bottle, one that you can conceal easily,
Wonderful.
and it's done with so much speed and ease that it's not just Tim who doesn't notice. Nobody spots you.
Can he pass it off to Soraya? Just be like, quick, hold this. Hide this. Not hold it.
What? How did you?
Well, I don't want it to slip out of my sleeve when I'm twirling on my next glass carry.
How did you? What wizard sleeve? How did you do that? my goodness! Wow! Kudos, Boo, kudos.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, in order to win your bet, you're going to have to hit the same mark, though.
That is very true. Was it Dex plus?
He gets a
athletics?
Yep.
He gets a boon as well.
Oh,
He gets a boon as well.
I'm using that boon because
And it's now
it's
10.
an important one.
10 glasses, got to hit a 10.
Nice. That is an 11 on the dice plus 4
Oh.
makes for
Yeah.
15.
It's elegantly done.
Thank you very much, Sparrow. The other dice was a 2.
And, Soraya,
Yes,
thanks you as well.
you not only complete the task, but manage to put the tray back on the bar when you finished it in such a way that it's actually sliding and slightly spinning for a second or two as it comes down.
Nice.
Tim is nodding with a certain degree of you've impressed him a bit.
Well, I used to wait bar back in the day. Many years of practice. It's nothing to be ashamed of, Tim. Plus, you've got a nice swimming appointment tomorrow morning.
It's true. Something to look forward to.
If not a slightly early one, but
6 o'clock.
You said before a shift. I can
Yeah,
go back. I can go back to bed after.
needs must.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock sounds fair to me.
Okay.
I look forward to learning about all the fish in the waters that you've learned since you've been here.
I will happily point the ones out that I know.
Magical. She sort of hands up. She blips her things through the money, the breakages, and so on. It says,
No breakages.
"Oh no, that's good. Just a little trippage."
Yep. Yeah, they fell, but they didn't break.
Oh, well, I'll see you down here tomorrow at 6. Thank you, Tim. Have a lovely sleep. Thank you for your wonderful attentiveness this evening.
One by one, the party slowly disappears upstairs. Zoe goes reasonably early because she's only really interested in one more drink, so she's not long behind Johnny. And members of the party slowly slip upstairs, leaving really just the hardcore of people like Kat down there, throwing back a few to wind off the rest of the evening. And I think as the evening falls, we should call it a night for this week.
Can I just throw in quickly that as the rest of the group get back up to our rooms, they go in and it's all pitch black, and then a light switches on, and Agnar's sat there in an armchair and just says, "Well, what time do you call this?"
Oh, Daddy Agnar.
The dark side of Daddy Agnar.
I wouldn't have minded if you'd have called.
he never got invited. Oh no. Oh, he's been stuck with Rick Verlo telling him stories. We can raise his cat spares. It's got to be spent. Oh, cheer for Sparrow. Hey, I feel like it's bad making Sparrow. Call for Rose, pay for Rose's cat.
Have we got a Rose's cat?
I'm sure we can find a Rose's cat. Is there none on there? Did I not set it up?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, what a terrible fate.
Let me find something that's the equivalent. Hang on. Okay, I found
tell you
one. I found an equivalent. There we go. We can do it. A bid for Ben and Leno is here. That covers it.
I know, I wanted the beard as well whilst we're Rosie's catting.
A beard for who? Beard for me or beard for Ben?
But there you go, both of you.
I can't do both. I've only got one. There's only one beard.
Oh, well, Ben can have the beard.
Okay, that's good. Right, let's move it across.
Okay.
It makes the story more serious. There we go. I've got the
Meanwhile-
fish hat to wear anyway.
Meanwhile, on the Baltic Star, the smallest crew member was exploring. A cat, in general, is ill-equipped to read the deck plans of a ship, even one as modestly proportioned as the Baltic Star. So she navigated the companionways and explored each space without any genuine understanding of what each was for. More accurately, she did have an understanding of what each area was for. It was just a little different from the way any of the other members of the crew might describe that space. So, for example, Caboodle might define a space as her eating, sleeping, and hiding space. But in that location, for the larger crew, Rose's stateroom would be found. The area with the huge number of seats and occasional table scraps, where the crew could be relied upon to tolerate her jumping onto their laps, would have been described as the lounge by everyone else aboard. The place above the main deck, with the comfortable seats and glowing, mesmerizing displays, where lights ran across huge screens and could be chased back and forth. There, when fatigue or ennui triumphed over enthusiasm, those comfortable seats beckoned and a happy sleep could be had. Well, that place, where the seats were warmed and few crew seemed to spend much time, those same crew called that place the bridge. In the shoulder of the ship, there was a new space to visit. It was large enough to fit both engineers, but only 2 crew could squeeze inside. Well, not on the Baltic Star. The benefit of a kitten in the crew was that a 3rd individual could easily fit. I mean, I say benefit. Axis and Soraya were carefully examining every part of the compartment. Most of the technology within was new to them, but even if it had been completely familiar, just another example of a component installed in dozens of other places on the ship, they would still have diligently traced every circuit, tested every element, reviewed every document and checklist. Nothing on the Baltic Star, nothing, was installed without the engineers knowing exactly where it was, what it did, and how it worked. Cats do, however, crave attention. They know intuitively that by placing themselves between a person and the object of that person's interest, they will get attention. Every time a panel was opened, Caboodle immediately peered inside and had to be gently pushed away before the area could be examined. Every time one of the engineers wanted to make a note, there was a cat in the way. It made the work slower. It also made it nicer. So this one, Axis said, Avionics Update Bus 7. Yep, it runs from Module 3 down behind the cat across the bottom of the center panel, Rama responded. Axis looked up. I hope you're not putting behind the cat in the notes. The cat won't be there next time. Both of them silently regarded the kitten for a moment as it sat happily in the middle of the area they were examining. Want to bet? Said Soraya.
Oh,
Very nice.
stop making me love Axis and Soraya more than is acceptable.
Especially when we can't get at them for
We got
a
on like
while.
a while. Yeah, got months of gaming. Lovely work, Ben. Oh,
Thank you. And thank you, Sparrow. Always a treat. I do enjoy a bit of Rosie's cat.
it's a nice way to finish. It's sad when we don't finish with
Indeed.
one, to be honest. It's a fitting end to a Friday night, not Wednesday, Friday night.
Well, it's sort of tradition now, isn't it? It feels like the right way to do things.
I think so. It's all about tradition. Oh, that's good. Thank you, Ben. That was nice. We had a bit of everything in that one, I felt.
Yeah, definitely. It's a journey.
Yeah. Well, you've got to have the occasional bit of grit and hardness to make the nice bits nice, haven't you?
Yeah. The juxtaposition.
It did make the return to the hotel feel particularly charming because we booked in, but we've not been there.
That's right. This was your first actual trip there,
A bit of luxury is
except for
lovely.
when you first saw it when you booked in. Yeah.
Yeah. Little few minutes of luxury is quite nice. Last time we were in, I've been days.
And a good timming.
Good timming. It's been a while since a good timming.
All important timming.
And all important timming. Oh wow, what a joy! Thank you. Guess that's the end of our Friday. I guess we better talk about the rest of our weekend, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes. So tomorrow night we're doing something new, aren't we, Luke?
It's the start of what I hope is a series of orbital blues, and I've been reading this book quite a lot. Here's the book, and I've been making some notes, and I've been making I know it's well legit, and I've been making some online notes, and I tell you what, I said it in our Discord. I'm gonna load it up here. I've even, and this is very important, I've even come up with some beers that you guys can order. They're on the screen now. And there's spirits and everything. There's legitimate canon beers and ales which you can choose. So there's
Amazing.
So because it's a different vibe. It's sci-fi. So, but I like to think we've got that, and so Orbital Blues and Dark Places are very much that sort of every 4 to 6 weeks. Traveller is our first true love and always will be. But I think Dark Places and Orbital Blues pull at different threads of sci-fi, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So Dark Places plays that claustrophobic horror stress stuff, which, to be honest, if we did that every week in Traveller, we'd all have breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think you need a if you're exploring a whole galaxy, you need it to be a bit different each time, don't you?
Exactly. And Orbital Blues, because again, that's every month or so, is a bit more. It's that sort of bluesy, whimsical, jazzy kind of thing. It's a bit dirty, it's a bit grubby, but you can sort of
Firefly Bebop.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Nicely done. So that's starting tomorrow night with character generation. Let's get rid of that. But everyone knows that I don't like straightforward character generation. So in the same way that in the same way that we did with those Dark Places, it's going to be character gen, but kind of a setup, I guess, as well. A setup for it. Like the tutorial mission of a video game, like Ben saw me get very angry at in Hitman 2. So why am I doing this?
Yeah.
I got very angry at Hitman 2 for doing it. So why am I
Because you
forcing it
want
on
to
you
put other
guys?
people through it. I've had to do it.
I spent an hour going, this is so obvious. Why I hate this. Why have I been tricked into doing this? No, I could do it. But it'll put everyone into the first system that we go into. And it will give a vibe of it and give a little playthrough of how it works. And I think I've read it and it's interesting. It's different enough from the other things we do, and the vibe is, yeah. You say it's the Cowboy Bebop, it's Firefly, it's that vibe, and just it's interesting. It's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it.
It sounds like it's going to be enormous fun. So yes, so that's what we're doing tomorrow, and that'll be at our usual sort of Friday and Saturday time of 11 o'clock UK time.
Yes, it will be.
So that should be great. And then Sunday is Spooky Sunday.
Spooky Sunday. Spooky Sunday is one of those that it depends on how well I do, basically. So we start with Hellblade, but we're very much at the end. We're approaching Hell, the gate, literally the gate of Hell, and Hell are in there. I don't know how long we got left. We could have 20 minutes, we could have an hour, but I do know we're within that sort of chunk of time. If it's an hour, it's an hour. If it's 20 minutes, we'll start our new game afterwards, which I can't remember. It's called Fetch Us the Moon, Bring Us the Moon, something like that.
I think it might be Bring Us the Moon. You sent me a link to look. I can't remember what it was. I think it's Bring Us the Moon. It's
a sci-fi thriller where Earth has gone wrong. Well, Earth has gone wrong, and then you're sent up to the moon to complete a mission. Oh, Dice Casters Thank you so much for joining us. You raid us just as we're finishing off. Now I feel like we need to do a whole extra hour. Ben, get your notes. Hey, Dicecasters, how you doing? Are you doing good? Did you have a good? Let's talk about you. I tell you what, let's spend 5 minutes talking legitimately about Dicecasters.
Yeah, let's do that. Since we're essentially running out of our stream, let's talk about your stream. What have you been doing this evening?
Yeah, what have you been doing? What have you been playing? Why should people go to watch you? People should, because you're good. But
Yeah, we are good.
This is where that awkward 20-second delay really shows up. But we still want to know, obviously.
Yes, inquiring minds.
Like, we went to some dirty guy's house who gets people purposefully hooked on snake venom so that he can find cures for snake bites. But you know, we did a deal with devil basically, and then went back and had mimosas in our fancy hotel. Makes us sound terrible.
That's certainly one way of putting it. Yeah.
Don't you worry about Fitz. You know we love you anyway. As long as you're kind of more there than here tomorrow when you're actually playing a character in the stream.
Yeah, that you're going to have to be a little bit more connected at that point. But it's always lovely to have you turn up, even if we only get a little slice of you. A little slice of you is brilliant.
And that's something you can clip.
A slice of socks. You clip it and make it your ringtone. Ben's saying it's lovely to have a slice of you.
That's a big commitment, Luke.
Who wouldn't want that as their ringtone? Oh, it's lovely to have a slice of you. I'll wake up to that every morning. Oh, where's
I'll buy that for $1.
Buy that. Where's my fist pump for the homies? Fist pump for the homies. I think we might keep the fist bump for the homies. I quite like it. But yes, thank you, Raiders, and thank you that you chose us. It's just wonky timing.
Yes, sorry about this. We are literally winding up, so we don't have that much to entertain you with.
We'd actually come to the end of talking about what we're doing for the next 2 days as well.
Yeah. Yes. So tomorrow we're playing Orbital Blues. If you're interested, 11 o'clock UK time.
That'll be fun.
Which is Cowboys in Space, Firefly, kind of.
Sad cowboys in space.
Sad cowboys in space. Grimy,
Sad.
grubby.
Has anyone ever met a happy cowboy?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure there are.
I've been to certain specialist clubs where they look very happy.
Maybe I'm just going off country and western music.
But yes, and then you were just saying. Well, we were just saying 11:45 UK time on Sunday night is Hellblade, and quite likely a bit of the intro, at least, of Bring Us the Moon or Deliver Us the Moon.
Yeah,
I can't remember now.
Two. That's going to be fun. It's very different because it's got a bit sci-fi and you're a bit alone out in space, and for me that's horror. I don't know if it's for everyone, but
it doesn't have to be real horror, does it? Just as long as it's a bit tense.
I'm megalophobic, so I'm very fearful of big things and the vastness of things. So like the film, what's it? The one with Sandra Bullock in Gravity.
Yeah.
The scene where the one character, I don't want to say too much because you haven't watched it. The one character ends up getting blasted off into space with no way back. Is quite a haunting moment because, of course, it is a haunting moment. So that whole concept of that game as well is haunting.
Yeah.
So I think it's the right game for a spooky Sunday. Spacey Sunday.
Oh, spookish.
Spookish Sunday.
Yeah. And since we're actually sort of halfway through our weekend now, we could even talk about what we're planning to do next weekend.
Whoa.
Because there are a couple of changes to the normal routine for next weekend.
Oh, people don't like change, Ben. They get very upset about change.
Will upset people. Quite right.
Yeah.
So Thursday, the plan is that on Thursday next, I'll be doing a behind the screens,
Nice.
which will be at about 11 o'clock UK time. So a bit of a departure from Luke's usual Thursday video game streams and CLD counters.
We love a behind the screens though.
And am I right in saying that's our Saturday works outing?
It's our works night out.
It is indeed.
So on Saturday we're not really streaming anything, except we might, do a very, very brief one just to say thank you and hello. But we're not streaming anything on Saturday because we're going on a works outing instead.
I feel like we need to do another half-hour stream like we did last time. It's just instead of Canterbury, we'll be in Faversham, literally our hometown.
It's true. Yeah. Which means we might be able to find somewhere that's a bit, quieter and more productive, where we can actually do something useful.
And it's not freezing cold.
Under the Guildhall. It's a very pretty part around the Guildhall. It's a very old part of Faversham. People might like it.
We actually could, yeah, if the timing's right and it's not too busy. We probably could do a little tour of the very centre of medieval Faversham, couldn't we?
Yeah, it is medieval as well. It was. It's got a lot of history, Faversham. The market town of Kings. One of the kings used to love going there. Back in, not that I care about the kings.
Many
but
kings.
They loved it. Yeah.
All the kings.
All the kings loved it. It was the last day stopping point for people that were going to Canterbury on their pilgrimage. They'd go to the market town of Faversham during the day, sleep the night in Bourton, and then walk out to Canterbury the next day. There you are. Get on your knees, go up the steps at Canterbury Cathedral, and you were there.
It's true. Because for some reason people wanted to visit cathedrals. And weirdly, they still do.
They still do. That's why they charge so much these days. Unless you're a Canterbury resident. If you're a Canterbury resident, you get it for free though.
Yeah.
I'm not wild about the idea of a cathedral charging you to go in.
When I was a student at the CCCCU for a couple of years when I was doing my teaching diploma, and I could walk through the grounds and get in for free back then. That's quite fun.
Yeah.
Just live there and get educated, Ben. Then you don't need to pay. If you're going to be some scuzzy person living elsewhere, what do you expect? Some Faversham infidel.
And yet I can walk up to St Mary's completely free.
Exactly.
I can't get in because it's always locked, but I can walk up to it for free.
Nice church though. Nice church, St Mary's.
Beautiful church.
Nice church.
Yeah, we may actually get that far. It's not much of a lack, is it?
Oh, we could do that. Saturday night we're going to do a little tour of Faversham. As long as I've had a few.
Sorry, go on.
No, don't sell it to me. Sell it to me, Ewan. I was finishing my full stop.
No. I was just going to say we could always go up to old Bob Geldof's house.
That's a walk.
Stream live from.
That's a fair old walk from the restaurant.
Knocking his door. I don't think.
Yeah, we could do. You never know.
My mate at school, his sister used to go horse riding with not Peaches. I think Heavenly Hero. Maybe either Peaches or Tiger Lily. Used to go horse riding with her, and she used to invite her back to her house all the time. But my friend's sister never went because she was terrified of Bob Geldof, so never went. She was scared.
Understandably.
So there you go. One of our town's little claims to weird fame.
Yeah.
He's still there. He still shuffles around town looking like a dirty grebo every week.
Well, I mean, you certainly wouldn't want to visit on a Monday, would you?
No, he don't like them.
He doesn't like them.
Don't like them. Right. Okay, so next week we're going to, Saturday, let's at least do a little half-hour stream then.
Yeah, we'll do something.
I think the plan was we were going to go to a Chinese restaurant, a very nice Chinese restaurant in town and a pub, and we'll find a point to do a little 30-minute Faversham stream. Some local colour. If Faversham's a bit rougher though, we might get beat up. We'll try not to.
Well, because it's, middle of the night, we'll have to find things that are lit at night. So, that's the cars down Lower Road.
Central Car Park has some lighting. That's quite a pretty place.
Yeah, that's true, but it's not exactly the most decorative part of town.
I think the Guildhall's always pretty nice, and that's right near China.
Guildhall's.
That's right near
Guildhall's
China Village
nice.
as well. China Village is right next to it, so we're good for that.
Yeah.
We'll Guildhall it. Fantastic. We'll have some Chinese food, drink some Chinese lager. You'll have some sake, no doubt.
Sake.
Yeah. And then we'll do a little stream.
I enjoy
Good
sake.
Dude, you're a sucker for sake.
I am a sucker for sake.
Right. Should we go to bed and let everyone else
Yep.
go to bed?
Yeah.
Let's call it. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
everyone, for joining us. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure, as always.
It's been lovely to have you all along in chat and lurking along with us. It's brilliant. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you, Ewan.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks,
And thank you, Ewan. Thank you, Sparrow, and thank you, Socks. And thank you, everyone else.
Yeah.